Chapter 182. Suyin was at a loss. Was this something that he had lost before? Now, the primordial treasure liquid had merged with Su Yan's physique. The compatibility was perfect. It was as if the primordial treasure liquid had merged with Su Yan's physique. Wong. Su Yan's physique rumbled as the might of his king physique manifested. Originally, because he had absorbed the true dragon's blood, Su Yan had cultivated his king physique to the limit. Now, under the nourishment of the primordial treasure liquid, his physique had evolved. It rippled with strands of divinity, primordial aura, and the aura of calamity. From the depths of his physique, strands of terrifying divinity were awakened. At this moment, Su Yan's body flowed with golden radiance. He was like a golden god sitting there, blazing and dazzling. The greatest effect of the primordial treasure liquid was not to increase one's cultivation, but to comprehend the great Tao within. However, the primordial treasure liquid's life essence was also exuberant. It could be said to be the strongest life essence. Su Yan's Saint Gate rumbled as he directly opened the fifth Saint Gate. His divine power increased by a notch. The crucial moment had begun. His body was burning with vitality, and the source of his vitality was rising. Su Yan's body was as if it had eaten a fossil. Its strength increased by a notch, and even the life essence within it became boundless. It was an extremely shocking manifestation. His entire body was intertwined with Saint Might, like a blurry, great Tao Saint Gate. This wasn't even considered much. The 5-day Song gates in Su Yan's body began to move. The laws that were nurtured in the holy gates started to become clearer and more resplendent with the passage of time. The laws in the holy gate seemed to have turned into the veins of heaven and earth. These were the laws that built the holy gate, and they emitted a vast aura. With each passing day, Su Yan's cultivation was rising. His grasp of the laws was rapidly climbing. Su Yan, on the other hand, was silent in a primitive world. He had comprehended the power of the great Tao. The great Tao was above the laws. If he could understand a little, then Su Yan's grasp of the laws would be extraordinary. In the Tao Gate realm, one would comprehend the laws. The stronger one's grasp of the laws, the stronger one's combat strength would be. After 10 whole days and nights, Su Yan discovered that the source of the great Tao was gradually dispersing. He felt that it was a pity. If his own cultivation was profound, then he could directly grasp the power of the great Tao. This was the mystical aspect of the primordial treasured fluid. When Su Yan opened his eyes, he was deeply shocked. His corporeal body had soared to the peak of the Tao Gate realm, and the 6th sacred gate had almost been opened. The rule power contained in the Daesong Gate was much stronger than it was 10 days ago. My grasp of the laws has actually improved so much. Su Yan sucked in a cold breath. Generally speaking, those who came into contact with this kind of cultivation would be in the transcendent realm. However, because of the primordial treasured liquid, Su Yan was able to cultivate to this step in advance. Boom! When Su Yan's corporeal body awakened, his residence was filled with the rumbling sound of a tsunami. Su Yan's corporeal body was filled with a kind of divinity. This was the divine physique. At this moment, he was sacred and dignified, like the reincarnation of an ancient god. When his physique was circulated to the extreme, a blurry sea of chaos rose behind him, emitting the aura of calamity and lingering with primordial divine splendor. So powerful! Su Yan laughed heartily. Because of the primordial treasured fluid, his combat strength was completely different. Just the phenomenon of his physique was enough to shock the world, enough to suppress cultivators of the same realm. I now have the divine physique. My physique has evolved to the divine physique. In the future, can my physique evolve to the supreme physique? Su Yan carefully sensed and discovered that there was still a lot of room for evolution in the domain of the divine physique. He couldn't help but shake his head. The primordial treasured fluid was already precious enough. It was an extremely difficult matter to raise the divine might of his physique. Now, he could feel the power of the divine physique. Every movement of his was filled with a divine aura. With my current combat strength, ordinary transcendent experts can hardly threaten me. Of course, it won't be good if I meet some monsters. Su Yin was delighted. This unexpected harvest had greatly increased his combat strength. He now had the foundation to survive in Brilliant City. Following which, Su Yin frowned. After pondering for a while, he left a look for Zi Xioning. Su Yin's question made Zi Xioning feel a bit strange. She couldn't help but wonder if the divine stone was a dusty treasure. I need a similar type of divine stone. Do you know where it was unearthed? Su Yin probed. That's easy. The Cosmos Business Alliance has quite a few, Zi Xioning said with a smile. Su Yan's face darkened. He wanted to know where the divine stone was unearthed. He didn't want this type of divine stone. Okay, I won't tease you. I won't tease you anymore. I also know about it. It was unearthed outside the Star Mound. Zi Xioning combed her black hair. Her red lips were bright, and her breath was like orchids. She said, I can also tell you that the drop of primordial treasured fluid that appeared in the auction was also unearthed outside the Star Mound. Su Yin was greatly shaken. He asked Zi Xioning why there was such a thing outside the Star Mound. He was also cursing in his heart. If it wasn't for Go Peng, this thing might have fallen into his hands. After all, he hadn't been in the Star Mound for long. With the Dragon Totem's ability to find treasures, he should have been able to find it. Zi Xioning was also puzzled. Why was there such a thing in the Star Mound? If this matter were to spread, who knew how many young Supremes would cross over to search for the primordial treasured fluid? All right, has the Star Mound been opened during these years? Su Yin asked. It seems you are very interested in the Star Mound. Zi Xioning was pleasantly surprised. She smiled and said, there have been some. In fact, it isn't much of a secret. 100 years ago, the Star Mound was forcefully opened by some people from the burial realm. Zi Xioning's long and narrow eyes stared at Su Yin. She wanted to find some clues on his face. She wanted to see how deep his connection with the burial realm was. However, she was disappointed. Su Yin was asking about the exact time. If he was really related to the burial realm, then he should know about this matter. Unbelievable. Su Yin walked over with a heavy heart. He carefully calculated. According to the time Zi Xioning gave him, he felt his hair stand on end and goosebumps appear all over his body. According to his own age, the time when the Snow Mountain hibernated and the time when the Star Mound was opened was very similar. Could it be that I came from the Star Mound? Su Yin shivered. He thought of the mountain in the Star Mound. It was exactly the same as the Snow Mountain. Su Yin felt a chill down his spine. He thought to himself, impossible. If I were an alien, how could I open the sky coffin and obtain the Snow Mountain's inheritance? Su Yin was suspicious of his background. He felt that he had to go to the Star Mound. Perhaps if he climbed the mountain in the Star Mound, he would be able to find some clues related to his background. After returning to his residence, Su Yin took out the killing array weapon and focused on repairing the damaged array marks. With the experience of repairing the Starry Sky array and the increase in his cultivation, Su Yin was more confident in repairing the killing array weapon. However, it still took him 3 days to repair it. The 12 short spears were stabbed in all directions around Su Yin, emitting a tragic aura. Once they were combined and turned into a killing array, they could kill some Transcendence Realm experts. With the killing array weapon protecting me, Go Peng can't threaten me. Su Yin wasn't in a hurry to leave. He took out his life cauldron and increased the strength of the law patterns. 5 days later, the transformation of the life cauldron was completed. The life cauldron was now extremely powerful. He had a supreme-grade astral body. With the circulation of the law force, the life cauldron exploded. The power of the galaxy poured down one after another, each containing extremely strong power. The origin treasure liquid is too amazing. After nearly 20 days, Su Yan's combat power had increased tremendously. It was all related to the origin treasure liquid. With my current grasp of the law, as long as I reorganize my foundation, I can quickly climb to the peak of the Sacred Gate realm. Su Yin began to observe the 9 transformations. The deeper his grasp of the law, the faster he could comprehend the superpower. This guy. A few days later, Zi Xioning was shocked when she saw Su Yin transform into a handsome young man. Black lines appeared on her forehead. She was originally waiting for Su Yin to beg her. However, she didn't expect that Su Yin had mastered a technique that could change his appearance and aura. This way, Gopeng couldn't see through Su Yan's true face. Su Yin swaggered out. The Cosmos Business Alliance was still bustling with activity. He had just come out when he keenly felt that someone was watching him. My cultivation has improved. My spiritual sense has also improved by a lot. Su Yin secretly smiled. He noticed that the gazes that were watching him quickly shifted away. Su Yin blended in with the crowd and slowly found Gopeng's men. He moved forward and circled around Gopeng for a while. Keep guarding. I won't kill you. Su Yin cursed in his heart and slipped away. He went straight to the Baokai shop and wandered around. He asked the little old man, but the Thai Baokai hadn't returned yet. Where did this Thai Baokai go? Su Yin felt a wave of helplessness. He immediately returned to his residence to see how the young slave was doing. As he approached his residence, Su Yan's expression became abnormal. His residence was being watched. This is bad. Gopeng actually found this place. That old fart. Su Yin quickly approached. As he was about to reach his destination, the entire shop shook slightly. What followed was a series of blood-curdling screams. Groups of law enforcement team members were sent flying out of a cultivation room. Who dares to kill law enforcers? The passers-by raised their eyebrows. Brilliant City forbade killing, not to mention law enforcers. Who would dare to kill law enforcers in Brilliant City? Su Yan's heartbeat quickened. He felt that it was inconceivable. The young slave ran out like a madman. He seemed to have changed into a different person. His originally empty eyes sometimes flashed with a terrifying light. Sometimes he would hold his head and scream in pain. Catch him! The surrounding law enforcers roared. Killing someone in Brilliant City and even letting him escape would greatly damage Brilliance Hall's reputation. However, the young slave ran faster and faster. The people who were trying to catch him were killed by the light emitted from the young slave's body. His body was like a giant dragon. It was terrifying. Who is this person? Su Yin sucked in a cold breath. There seemed to be a terrifying divine power buried in the young slave's body. However, his condition wasn't good. He rushed out like a black lightning bolt. Chapter 183. All of this happened too suddenly. Some people were stunned. Many people had died at the city gates. This matter had already been stirred up. If they couldn't capture the culprit, then Alcade Temple would lose a great deal of face. But the young slave was far too fast. He wildly rushed out. Hurry and take a look. Many people followed him. Su Yin also mixed in with the crowd, wanting to take a look. At this time, Alcade Temple had already learned of what happened to the city gates. A large number of cultivators rushed out. Vice Temple Master Go Peng directly took action, leading the people of Alcade Temple to chase after the young slave. For a time, killing intent billowed outside Alcade City. People shouted and horses neighed. Boom! At this moment, divine energy surged within Alcade City, causing clouds to collapse in all directions. It was like a divine furnace had erupted here. Divine strength pierced through the heavens, and a divine aura flooded the heavens. Great Child Alcade has made his move. Su Yin turned his head and saw Great Child Alcade's magic power surging to the heavens. He stretched out his arm, and a giant palm crossed dozens of miles. This magic power is too tyrannical. It's like a divine furnace is burning. The older generation felt their hair stand on end. Great Child Alcade's combat strength was extremely strong. His palm became increasingly brilliant, covered in the divine splendor of stars. His palm rapidly enlarged, covering the vault of the heavens. This palm could be called a starry sky. Stars appeared in the palm of his hand, each one rumbling as they spun. When they struck out, they sealed off dozens of miles of land, covering the young slave within. Pung! The starry sky hand fell down. The aura that filled the air cracked open the earth. Starlight fell down like a waterfall. But what left everyone in disbelief was that the young slave suddenly reared his head back and roared. The falling stars in Great Child Alcade's palm were shattered by his roar. Beneath his roar, his entire palm even began to crack apart. In particular, His mortal body emitted a blinding light. It could be said that thousands of bolts of lightning gushed out, piercing through the void. The skies were dyed red with blood. Great Child Alcade's palm retreated like lightning, but his entire palm was covered in blood. The disciples of Alcade Temple cried out in alarm. Great Child Alcade had been injured. His palm had nearly been shattered by the young slave's aura. Boom! And at this time, divine light erupted from Alcade's city like a bolt of lightning. This aura was countless times more ferocious than Great Child Alcade's. A big shot has made his move. Su Yan's expression changed. He saw a terrifying hand suddenly stretch out from a corner of Brilliant City. Countless great stars of the universe appeared in the palm of the hand, and the aura of the great Tao filled the air. This attack was heaven-covering hand. This palm struck out like a bolt of lightning, suppressing everything within 1,000 miles. It caused the entire void to cave in, and a huge black hole was created. The onlookers paled. The moment the giant hand chopped down, it crushed the aura released by the young slave. It was about to smash him into pieces. This young slave seemed to have gone mad. His expression was sometimes empty and sometimes terrifying, like a knife. Under the ghastly gazes of the surrounding people, the young slave let out a wild roar. The sky collapsed, and countless large cracks appeared. The stars in the outer space trembled, and the mountains collapsed. The people in the surroundings were horrified and terrified. It was as if an archaic overlord was erupting with power that could shatter mountains and rivers with a single roar. What? Brilliant's palace master's complexion changed. He rapidly retracted his palm, and his true body erupted. He crossed over from Brilliant City and brought out a divine stellar furnace to suppress the young slave. But that terrifying roar shook the world one after another. The roar shook the mountains and rivers. The roar shook the boundless territories, causing even Brilliant City to tremble. It could be said that this was the roar of a generation's demon lord. He soared into the skies, and the divine furnace that Brilliant's palace master brought out was sent flying away by the young slave. He's running. Brilliant's palace master couldn't block him. The young slave was like a bolt of lightning, crashing through the void. Some of the more daring ones chased after him. Su Yan also followed. Although they couldn't keep up with the young slave's speed, they could still follow the energy fluctuations. After running for several hundred miles, Su Yan and the others had strange complexions. The boundless mountain forests were riddled with holes. It was unknown just how many mountains had been shattered by the roar. They even saw a towering mountain ridge at the end of the horizon that suddenly caved in. This caused everyone's blood to run cold, and they didn't dare to chase after him. What is going on? Su Yan was scared witless. It was obvious that the young slave didn't hurt anyone. His condition was getting worse and worse. He wanted to leave Brilliant City. He didn't want Brilliant City to sink because of his madness. This was a mountain ridge. The older generation's legs were trembling, and they were almost paralyzed on the ground. They could feel the aura of destruction from afar. The mountain ridge had already disappeared and was replaced by a large canyon. Su Yan followed some of the more daring ones and gradually lost track of the young slave. He was running too fast. I just faintly saw that when this person took a step, the mountains and rivers retreated. This seems to be the legendary shrinking earth into an inch. This is an incredible, great divine ability. It is ranked among the 72 great divine abilities. It seems like this person's background is very great. Go Peng was also here. Su Yan even asked Go Peng what this person's background was. Go Peng saw that Su Yan had an extraordinary temperament and said hatefully, "Don't mention it. There is an evil creature related to him. Maybe this evil creature also knows shrinking earth into an inch. Your whole family is evil creatures." Su Yan cursed fiercely in his heart. His expression didn't change as he said, "Such a terrifying person. His disciple must be very terrifying." Hearing this, Go Peng was at a loss for words. He didn't dare to speak carelessly. He also didn't know what relationship Su Yan had with the young slave. This day was not peaceful at all. Mighty lords like the Mizar Palace Master came out to kill their way through the vast territory and traverse the void in search of the young slave's tracks. For a moment, the outside of the city was bustling with noise and excitement. Some people were discussing. My lord said that this person's cultivation is astonishing, but his mind is not clear. There is a great figure who wants to seize his Tao fruit. Such a terrifying expert who also knows the shrinking earth into an inch divine ability. If we can capture him alive, we can dig out the Tao fruit in his body and refine the great medicine in his body. We can even obtain the shrinking earth into an inch divine ability. These people's discussions made Su Yan's hair stand on end. This was too ruthless. They wanted to seize his Tao fruit. He could only secretly pray that the young slave would run as far away as possible. When he recovered, he would find Brilliant's palace master and the others to settle the score. Time passed day by day. Brilliant's palace master and the others returned empty-handed. Su Yan heaved a sigh of relief. It seemed that they didn't succeed. Su Yan decided not to leave. He went on the road alone and found a safe place. This was a large waterfall. Su Yan followed the waterfall and jumped into the waterfall. It's just like the water curtain cave. Su Yan patrolled for a while. This was a natural water cave. The space was very large, and there were some lush green plants inside. The air was fresh and clean. It's not bad to bitterly cultivate here. Su Yan sat on the ground. His entire body was relaxed. He had never been so relaxed before. Following which, Su Yan took out the Phoenix hairpin treasure and took out the frost jade bed. Su Yan's expression was calm. He looked at Yun, who was quietly lying on the frost jade bed. Su Yan couldn't help but clench his fists. His biggest goal in coming to the universe was to revive Yun. This day had finally come. Let's begin. I will definitely succeed. Su Yan took out the jade jar and took out the sacred medicine inside. 3 purple leaves bloomed with purple divine light. They contained vigorous divine essence. Every leaf was intertwined with the great Tao. It was as if a divine spirit was imprinted on the leaves. Sacred might lingered around them. After all, this was a legendary sacred medicine. There was no need to mention its value. Just these few leaves were incredible, healing, sacred medicines. They could even be refined to strengthen one's primordial spirit. How should I use this thing? Su Yan pondered for a while. He placed one of the purple leaves on his forehead. As expected, this purple leaf lit up. It sprinkled down waves of purple divine essence that converged into Su Yan's sea of consciousness. At this moment, Su Yan's golden primordial spirit seemed to have eaten a great tonic. It rapidly strengthened. Good fellow. Su Yan quickly stopped absorbing. He held the purple leaf in his hand and appeared in front of Yun. Let's begin. Su Yan gritted his teeth. He placed the first purple leaf on Yun's forehead. He hoped that 3 leaves would be enough. Even if it wasn't enough, it could allow Yun to persist for a few more years. Buzz! The sacred medicine leaf lit up on its own. Strands of purple divine light fell down and flowed into Yun's sea of consciousness. Su Yan's primordial spirit power flowed over to observe. He could clearly see that Yun's shattered primordial spirit was beginning to heal under the nourishment of the sacred medicine. Success! Su Yan's body trembled. His eyes were slightly red. He stared at Yun's primordial spirit that was beginning to heal. After half a day, this sacred medicine leaf was used up. It withered and yellowed. Yun's shattered primordial spirit had mostly healed. He took out the second sacred medicine leaf and placed it on Yun's forehead. Under the nourishment of the sacred medicine, Yun's long eyelashes trembled slightly. Even her fingers were trembling. She's alive. Su Yan's heart thumped wildly. Yun was resurrected. He breathed heavily and clenched his fists. Su Yan could clearly feel that Yun's originally cold body was beginning to recover vitality. This was Yun's vitality. As her primordial spirit healed, her body also began to recover its vitality. This was the effect of the frost jade bed. It had frozen Yun. It was as if time had returned to the moment when she was just injured. Su Yin even discovered that E.C. Yun's body was hibernating with a shocking divine power. Could it be the effect of the frost jade bed? Ah, E.C. Yun was muttering softly. Her aura had awakened even more. Her entire body was covered in a hazy divine radiance. Layers of vast Tai-in aura emerged from within. Her body was very strong. This was a divine body, now that she had awakened from her slumber, coupled with the special effect of the frost jade bed. E.C. Yun's entire body was emitting a divine radiance. She even looked a few years younger. Her eyes suddenly opened. Divine radiance shot out in all directions. Her eyes were filled with purple divine radiance. E.C. Yun was slightly confused. She frowned. She looked around. The unfamiliar space made her nervous. She curled up her body. E.C. Chapter 184. Su Yin, E.C. Yun said in a daze. Wasn't she dead? How did she come back to life? E.C. Su Yin lost control of his emotions. He walked up to her and said, "You're finally awake. Thank God, the old senior didn't lie to me." Well, what's going on? E.C. Yin was a little confused. She realized that not only was she not dead, but her primordial spirit had become extremely powerful. Her cultivation had also improved by leaps and bounds. Her body contained extremely strong divine power. Then she touched her face. Her hands were trembling and her eyes were red. She was wearing a white dress. She stared at Su Yin and shook her head. Her eyes were red and her expression was pained. Why? Why did you save me? She hugged her knees and sat on the frost jade bed. She buried her head and cried. She was old and she wanted to be free. E.C., you have to pull yourself together. Su Yin walked up to her and comforted her. Open your eyes and look at this world. This is no longer Earth. This is an ancient planet with a peak civilization. On this ancient planet, it's not difficult to rejuvenate. Hearing this, E.C. Yun's eyes widened. She was in disbelief. However, E.C. Yun could sense that her environment was completely different from Earth. But she buried her head. She didn't dare to look at Su Yin. She didn't dare to let Su Yin see her appearance. Su Yin's heart ached. He walked up to her and hugged her. She gritted her teeth. Her eyes were red as she tried to hold back her tears. Su Yin hugged her tightly. E.C. Yun's initial fear subsided a little. However, she couldn't accept her current appearance. She had slept for 60 years. When she came out of the snow mountain space, she was already in her old age. Although E.C. Yun's appearance was younger and there weren't many wrinkles on her face, she really didn't know how to communicate with Su Yin. Trust me, you'll be fine. Su Yin smiled and said, Look, you almost died, but you still came back from the dead. Even the king of hell couldn't take you away. So what's the point of having a pretty face? Since you don't want to talk, then slowly listen to me. Back then, Su Yin told E.C. Yun about what had happened on Earth. He heard about Zhu Yan's death, the alien invasion, and their arrival on planet Alcade. E.C. Yun's eyes slowly regained their vigor. Su Yan's hands landed on her shoulders. Looking at E.C. Yun, who didn't dare to look directly at him, he couldn't help but laugh. I've said so much to you. Why didn't you say a word? E.C. Yun lowered her head and clenched her fists. She wanted to say something, but she didn't know what to say. E.C. Yun, Su Yin suddenly said. She reflexively looked at Su Yin. At this moment, she burst into laughter. Although she was a little old now. After waking up just now, and after more than a year of modification on the frost jade bed, she was younger than before. I say, E.C., you're still a mature and beautiful woman. Su Yin couldn't help but laugh. He changed his appearance and became an old man, laughing here. Screw you. E.C. Yun's cheeks turned red. Then, Su Yin took out a mirror and handed it to E.C. Yun. Looking at herself in the mirror, E.C. Yun's eyes regained more vigor. She was a lot younger than she was a year ago. Do you see it? Su Yin said, This is the divine devil civilization. What's the point of aging? An old fellow with 1 foot in the grave can probably become a virgin with some primordial treasure liquid. In this world, there's only things you can't do. There's nothing you can't think of. Su Yan's words made E.C. Yun glare at him. What are you talking about? I'm just afraid that you won't be able to think things through and commit suicide by jumping into a river. Su Yin laughed out loud. I won't. Isi Yun's mood improved a lot. She looked at Su Yan and whispered, "Thank you, Su Yan. You gave me 2 lives. Why are you still being so polite with me?" Su Yan chuckled. Then he said in astonishment, "EC, do you dare to believe it? We're already more than 100 years old. We're now on an alien planet, so far away from Earth. I still can't believe that we're on an alien planet." EC Yun was also tongue-tied. Everything was too bizarre. She could not help but mutter to herself. After sleeping for a while, the divine devil civilization came. After sleeping for a while, we're on an alien planet. Just as Su Yan was about to speak, he could faintly sense that there was a faint energy fluctuation coming from the water curtain cave. Someone's coming. Su Yan's expression changed slightly. Before he could finish his sentence, a majestic pressure came from outside the water curtain cave. This scene made Su Yan and EC Yun aghast. The person who came was extremely terrifying. The mighty purple gas filled the entire water curtain cave. "It's here." A young woman took the lead and walked in. Although she was not very beautiful, her temperament was very unique. She had an ethereal and holy aura. Her skin was like ice and jade, and her eyes were bright and spirited. She was graceful and charming. Isian took a few more glances and could not help but lower her head. She was a little surprised because the two of them seemed to be a little old. Her gaze scanned Isian. Her strange gaze made Isian clench her jade-like hands and lower her head. "Why are you so impolite?" Su Yan was angry and scolded. "What are you looking at? What's there to look at?" "Su Yan." Isian hurriedly pulled Su Yan back. She did not want to cause trouble. This was an alien planet, and they had no one to rely on. "You old man." Meng Xiaoli's eyes widened. She stared at Su Yan and said, "I'm not looking at you. Why are you interrupting?" "Xiaoli, don't be rude." An old voice sounded, which made Su Yan's heart jump. The voice was familiar. It should be the expert in the top box of the auction house who had bid more than 5,000 kilograms of Heaven's Essence Stone. He could not help but feel nervous. He also saw a silver-haired old woman walk into the water curtain cave. "It's Master." Meng Xiaoli quickly shut her mouth, but she still glared at Su Yan. This old woman with a head full of silver hair was in high spirits. He could not tell how strong she was, but Su Yan could feel that her aura was like an abyss unfathomable. Meng Ying's body involuntarily emitted the aura of a superior. This was an aura born from being in a high position for a long time. "Greetings, Senior." Su Yan bowed. "Little friend, your transformation is not bad." Meng Ying nodded slightly. He could see through Su Yan's body at a glance. Isi Yan also stood up nervously. She realized that Meng Ying had been staring at her since he came in. "Oh my God, Master, this is Frost Jade Divine Ice." At this moment, Meng Xiaoli noticed the Frost Jade bed behind them. She stammered. They actually used Frost Jade Divine Ice to make a bed. "This is too extravagant. Don't make a fuss. Where's your manners?" Meng Ying frowned. His gaze was fixed on Isi Yan. "May I know what Senior wants?" Su Yan asked. "Don't interrupt." Meng Xiaoli coldly stared at Su Yan. Su Yan was enraged. If it weren't for Meng Ying, he would have already thrown her out. At this moment, Meng Ying pointed a finger. A mysterious aura emanated from his fingertip, penetrating Isi Yun's body. "Old Senior, what are you doing?" Su Yan's expression changed. He wanted to resist, but he discovered that he could not move. Wang, in Isi's body, which was originally still there, immediately gushed out. A vast and mighty divine aura gushed out from her body. Her body was resplendent and contained a dense aura of extreme Yin. Faintly, a blurry divine aura appeared. Extreme Yin divine physique. No, she has the potential to become an extreme Yin saint physique. Meng Xiaoli's eyes widened. She sucked in a breath of cold air. She pointed at Isi Yun in disbelief. What a terrifying physique. Once cultivated, she would be invincible in a star field. Good. Meng Ying was even more excited. Her entire body was faintly trembling. She was unable to contain her joy. "I've searched high and low for you. I just felt some extreme Yin aura and found this place. I didn't expect to meet a genius with the potential to become extreme insane physique. Ha ha ha. The entire water curtain cave was shaking. It was about to be shattered by Meng Ying's uncontrollable laughter. But master, she's too old. Meng Qiaoli frowned. Although E.C. Yun's physique was extraordinary, with E.C. Yun's lifespan, it would be difficult for her to achieve much on the path of cultivation. E.C. Yun's jade-like hands clenched tightly. She was losing control of her emotions. What nonsense are you talking about? Su Yan was furious. E.C. Yun was very vengeful. This woman's mouth was too cheap. Shut up. Meng Ying's expression suddenly changed. Her entire body involuntarily exuded a powerful aura. This caused Meng Qiaoli to stagger and almost fall to the ground. Master, I was wrong. Meng Qiaoli trembled with fear. Her face was pale. You speechless thing. I've spoiled you rotten. Meng Ying shook her head helplessly. What do you know? Her lifespan is only 150 years. You and her lifespan are about the same. If you dare to speak without thinking, I won't let you off easily. Meng Qiaoli was scolded to the point that she did not dare to utter a word. She cursed in her heart. A chicken turned into a phoenix. What's the big deal? Child. Meng Ying was very satisfied. He pulled E.C. Yun's hand over. His old face was full of surprise and asked, Child, where are you from? Do you have a master? Of course, no matter who your master is. I, Meng Ying, will definitely let you enter my sect. E.C. Yun did not know how to answer. Su Yan walked up and said, Senior, we came from the desolate mountain forest. I'm her elder brother. Oh. Meng Ying took a few more glances at Su Yan and said with a smile, That's good. I want to take her as my disciple. What do you think? Su Yan's face was full of awkwardness. This scene made Meng Ying frown. Meng Qiaoli immediately said, I say, do you know who my master is? Not to mention your Alcade planet. Even the Big Dipper's master, Bamboo Moon, has to bow when she sees my master. Su Yan was speechless. After talking for so long, he still did not know where they came from. I'm from the Z-Way segmentum. Her words shocked Su Yan, an expert who came from another region. My master is the Z-Way segmentum's great elder of the Z-Way sect. Chapter 185. Su Yan naturally knew about the Z-Way segmentum, but he did not expect Meng Ying to have such a powerful background. He was actually the great elder of the Z-Way sect. This background was really shocking. Senior, I would like to discuss with my brother. E.C. Yun finally spoke. This sentence almost made Meng Qiaoli explode, but because of Meng Ying, she did not dare to say anything. She knew that Meng Ying had made up his mind to accept a disciple. Okay. Meng Ying hesitated for a moment and said, I will wait for you outside. You better hurry. I will not stay in the Big Dipper for long. Young man, your sister has the potential to become the holy body of Tying. This kind of body is not inferior to the supreme body. I advise you to think carefully before you answer me. Do not ruin your sister's promising future. Also, it is not easy for your sister to regain her youthful appearance. But as long as she cultivates the scriptures of the Z-Way sect, it is absolutely possible. Besides, even if this girl becomes the disciple of the Big Dipper Star Master, she will not be able to cultivate the holy body of Tying. The Z-Way sect is her best choice. Meng Ying was still worried and said something to Su Yan, telling him about E.C. Yun's potential. The water curtain cave quieted down. Su Yan immediately pulled E.C. Yun inside. He found the communicator in the Phoenix Hairpin space and quickly wrote a series of English words and handed them to E.C. Yun. Su Yan knew that if they talked here, Meng Ying would definitely hear them. There was no time to set up a formation. She could not possibly understand this English, right? After reading the content, E.C.'s face turned pale and her eyes turned red. Su Yan was telling her not to tell anyone about what had happened on Earth, not a single word, especially what she had experienced on the snow mountain. E.C. Yun found it hard to accept. She and Su Yan had not seen each other for 100 years. Now, she really did not want to be separated from Su Yan, but Su Yan wanted her to cultivate with Meng Ying. Don't be silly. Do you know the origin of the Z-Way sect? Su Yan programmed the communicator and said, If we don't agree, she will definitely take you away by force. We have already come to another planet. and we will have to go back in the future. But that was very difficult, but it's different now. With the prosperity of the crepe myrtle sect, as long as you cultivate in the crepe myrtle sect for a few years, recovering your appearance will be a small problem, and your chances of becoming a powerful expert will be very high. Su Yin was also reluctant to let Yi Si Yun leave, let alone go to such a faraway place. Now on this planet, Tai Bao Kai and Yi Yuan could not be found. Yi Si Yun was his only friend now. I'm quite relieved that you've joined a powerful sect. Su Yin was very clear that with their cultivation speed, it would be too difficult for them to recover their looks. It would take many years. Meng Ying's words had shaken Su Yin greatly. Yi Si Yun could actually become a sacred body of extreme moon in the future and become a supreme body. Have you considered it? Meng Ying walked in. She looked at the communicator in their hands strangely. She could not understand the words on it, which surprised her. Su Yin was about to speak when Yi Si Yun gritted her teeth and said, "Senior, I can be your disciple, but okay, as long as you agree, I'll give you whatever you want." Meng Ying's serious face was full of joy. She walked up and smiled. "Say it, girl. Even if you want the moon in the sky, I can help you get it." "Senior, my request is very simple. I want my brother to go with me." Yi Si Yun's words stunned Meng Ying. Meng Qiaoli frowned and said, "Impossible. Our crepe myrtle sect will never accept disciples with average aptitude." Moreover, Meng Qiaoli did not finish her words. Yi Si Yun looked at Su Yin and said somewhat forcefully, "That's impossible. I will never be separated from my brother in this life." "You." Meng Qiaoli's face twitched. She did not expect the honest Yi Si Yun to suddenly speak so forcefully. Su Yin could not say anything. He did not want to leave now. He wanted to go to the Star Tomb to take a look. "Girl, you can bring him to the crepe myrtle segmentum," Meng Ying said with a smile. "However, the crepe myrtle sect has no male disciples, only female disciples. I can recommend him to other sections. What do you think?" Yi Si Yun was a little surprised. "Not accepting male disciples? Senior, how long will you stay here?" Su Yin asked. "Do you want my master to wait for you?" Meng Qiaoli said unhappily, "Do you know how difficult it is to cross regions?" Su Yin frowned. Yi Si Yun also saw that Su Yin had something to do. Su Yin had just told her that the martial god and Tai Bao Kai were here. Su Yin definitely did not want to leave now. For a moment, Yi Si Yun was hesitant. "How about this? Little friend, I will recommend you to Yaowang Palace Master. What do you think?" Su Yin almost cursed. This was sending him to the wolf's mouth. If she recommended him to Yaowang Palace Master, wouldn't he be exposed? Seeing Su Yin's expression, Meng Ying frowned. Yaowang Palace Master was already very impressive. If she asked, Yaowang Palace Master would definitely help to cultivate Su Yin. However, Su Yin seemed unwilling. "Big brother, what's your decision?" Yi Si Yin walked over and looked at him seriously. Su Yin was silent for a moment and said, 3 years later, I will go to the Ziwei segmentum to find you." "Oofed," Meng Qiaoli laughed. "I say, you really don't know what's important. Do you know how much it costs to cross the segmentum? Not to mention 3 years. You don't even have the qualifications to cross it for 300 years. Qiaoli, don't talk so much." Meng Ying was somewhat dissatisfied. She directly said to Su Yin, "I have urgent matters to attend to. I can't stay here any longer. I think it's better if I have my disciple come find you in a few years. What do you think?" "Senior, you don't need to worry about me. As long as EC is safe and sound in the Ziwei sect, I can do anything." Su Yin seriously said, "But senior, you have to promise me that we lost our family when we were young. You can't let some people bully her." Meng Qiaoli's expression changed. Su Yin was talking about her. Meng Ying smiled and said, "Your worries are unnecessary. In the entire universe, who would dare to make things difficult for our Ziwei sect's legacy disciples?" Meng Qiaoli clenched her teeth. With Yi Si Yun's physique, she really didn't dare to make things difficult for Yi Si Yun. Su Yin looked at Yi Si Yun. Yi Si Yun clenched her fists. Su Yin had made a decision. "Isn't this good? From now on, I will be your master." Meng Ying smiled from ear to ear. "Good, good, very good. When I return to the sect, I can use a special method to restore my disciple's appearance and make her 100 years younger." "Oh, It seems that another acquaintance has come. Meng Ying was in high spirits. At this moment, a burst of laughter came from outside the water curtain cave. Senior Meng, you are truly remarkable. I chased for half a day before catching up and almost lost you. It's big brother Shuiguan. Meng Xiaoli was pleasantly surprised and said, we haven't seen each other for so many years. Last time in the Z-Way segmentum, when big brother Shuiguan left, I didn't have time to say goodbye to you. I didn't expect to meet you today. Su Yan's heart trembled. Shuiguan strode in. His power was shocking, like a divine king standing there. The vitality in his body was monstrous. Isi Yin was shocked. This young man was too scary. Shuiguan's strength was undeniable. His long black hair draped over his shoulders. His face was as sharp as a knife, and he looked heroic. He walked forward and bowed to Meng Ying. Shuiguan, you don't have to be so polite in front of me. Meng Ying nodded in satisfaction. After all, he was a young supreme being who dominated the Big Dipper segmentum. Senior, you have helped me many times in the Z-Way segmentum. I naturally can't be rude. Shuiguan's words surprised Su Yan. Shuiguan had been to the Z-Way segmentum. It was rumored that Shuiguan had received the inheritance of a supreme being, but the elites of the Big Dipper segmentum couldn't prove it. Could it be that Shuiguan had received the inheritance of a supreme being in the Z-Way segmentum? Meng Xiaoli's eyes were full of admiration. Supreme Big Dipper. How many men like him could there be in the world? Oh, this is... Shuiguan's gaze fell on Yi Yin. He said with some surprise, I see that this young lady's lifespan is not long. She is much younger than me. Could she be a disciple of the Z-Way sect? Brother Shuiguan, this is my master's new disciple. Meng Xiaoli's words surprised Shuiguan. His eyes flashed with waves that could pierce through the sky. It was as if two great Tao heavenly suns were faintly visible. In his eyes, Yi Yun's image was faintly reflected. There was even a faint wisp of saintly might. Great Tao heavenly eye. Meng Ying's face lit up. Shuiguan, oh Shuiguan, you are really extraordinary. You have almost cultivated the great Tao heavenly eye. When you comprehend the great Tao, your future will be amazing. Senior Meng, you flatter me. Shuiguan took a deep breath and said with surprise, congratulations, Senior Meng. You have gained a beloved disciple. Your name will definitely spread throughout the world in the future. Brother Shuiguan, you are even more powerful than my master. My master couldn't see through you at first glance. Meng Xiaoli was pleasantly surprised. This disciple of mine is really helping an outsider. Xiaoli, you don't know, but once this great Tao heavenly eye is cultivated, Shuiguan will have the foundation to defeat the young sovereigns of the major star fields. Meng Ying praised. He is destined to walk the path of an invincible sovereign in the universe. Senior is too kind. I really don't deserve it. Shuiguan smiled, following which he took out a jade box from his spatial treasure and handed it to Yin, saying, Miss, it's really a pity for a girl as beautiful as a fairy to lose her celestial beauty. This item is for you. It should be of great help to you. The jade box opened by itself. Exuberant life essence flowed out and rolled out. This scene made Meng Ying lose his composure. This was a medicine king. Su Yan was shocked. This guy couldn't have gotten the inheritance of a major power, right? He was even willing to give away a medicine king. This item is too valuable. I don't deserve it. Yi Yin shook her head. She didn't know what a medicine king was. Don't give it to me. Meng Xiaoli grabbed it jealously. When Meng Ying's face darkened, she smiled awkwardly. Master, I will accept it on behalf of junior sister. I will give it back to her. Ha ha! Shuiguan laughed and took out a Tao divine weapon to give to Meng Xiaoli. This made Meng Xiaoli overjoyed. Who is this little brother? Shuiguan's eyes landed on Su Yan. He was about to cultivate the great Tao heavenly eye. He recognized Su Yan at first glance. His expression was a little strange. He recognized me. Su Yan's heart trembled, but he still said, I am Yi brother. Speaking of which, I really have something to trouble you with, Shuiguan, Meng Ying suddenly said. Senior Meng, please speak your mind, Shuiguan said. If there is anything you need, I will definitely do it. It's nothing big. I just took my beloved disciple away and left this little brother behind. Meng Ying hesitated. So it's this matter. That's easy. Shui Guan smiled. Let this little brother come to my Shui family. When I have time, I can give him some pointers. Although our Shui family can't be compared to the Big Dipper Palace Hall, it is still a good place to go. He will definitely be able to achieve great things in the future. Su Yin frowned slightly. In a tactful tone, he said, Shui Guan, I have not heard your great name for a long time. However, I'm not very talented. Thank you for your kind intentions, Supreme Shui Guan. I appreciate it. I will not trouble you. Hearing this, Shui Guan frowned slightly. This was an excuse. Chapter 186. Isi Yin frowned slightly. Stupid talent? Su Yin had even opened the sacred gate and was in the awakening realm. She admitted that the Big Dipper sovereign was terrifying, but in the Dao Gate realm, Su Yin would not be weaker than him. Because Shui Guan was here, Meng Qiaoli's words were very restrained. Little friend, you have to think carefully. Meng Ying was a little dissatisfied. She had spoken, but Su Yin had rejected her twice. Senior, I appreciate your kindness. Su Yin shook his head and said, To be honest, I have a master. Hearing this, Meng Ying frowned. In the northern Dipper Star region, there was no better choice than the northern Dipper sovereign. In the future, if he was lucky, he might even become a general under the northern Dipper sovereign. Moreover, she felt that with Su Yan's ordinary appearance, it was impossible for him to join a good sect. He's probably a little arrogant. Any young person would feel ashamed when they see Shui Guan. Why would they lower themselves to follow him? Meng Ying snorted coldly in her heart. Forget it. Anyway, as long as I take my disciple away, the next time I come, he might be a pile of dirt. Since this little brother has a master, I won't force you. Shui Guan's tone was calm, and he did not care too much. By the way, Shui Guan, in a few days, the Star Tomb will open. At that time, the Big Dipper Pagoda will appear. I think with your cultivation, the first place of the trial will be yours. Meng Ying's words surprised Su Yin. What was the Big Dipper Pagoda? Senior, you think too highly of me. There are countless geniuses in the Big Dipper, and there is one with a sovereign body. There are even some hibernating geniuses who have yet to appear. However, it will be difficult to rush to the first place of the Big Dipper Pagoda. Although Shui Guan's words were modest, there was a strong fighting spirit in his eyes. The Big Dipper Pagoda was the strongest test for young sovereigns when the Big Dipper was still around. Even the major starfields had their own way of measuring the combat power of young sovereigns. Don't be modest, this is not difficult for you. Shui Guan didn't say much after hearing Meng Ying's words. Was there any suspense about the first place? Senior Meng, I originally wanted to invite Senior to visit my Shui family, but seeing that Senior has accepted a disciple, I have no intention of doing so. Shui Guan bowed and said, This junior will take his leave first. I will visit Crepe Myrtle Star again in a few years. Okay. Shui Guan, take care. Meng Ying nodded and walked him to the door. As he turned around, Meng Ying smiled and said, Shui Guan is too polite. He is already a young supreme martial artist, so he should act like one. The next time I meet him, I will definitely talk to him more. Master, this is a good thing. It means that Brother Shui Guan respects you. Meng Qiaoli laughed and then glared at Su Yin. She said carelessly, I said, Shui Guan Gij has already left. It's too late for you to regret it. Meng Qiaoli couldn't figure out whether this guy's brain was flooded with water. Su Yin ignored Meng Qiaoli and said to Meng Ying, Senior, since you have an urgent matter, you can go about your business. Meng Ying nodded. This little guy was quite tactful. Senior, I want to say a few words to my brother. Isi Yin said, Okay, we will wait for you outside. Meng Ying could understand. After all, she felt a little apologetic for taking Isi away to such a faraway place. You are really leaving? Isi Yin transmitted her voice. Are you hiding something from me? Who did you offend? Su Yin edited the contents of the communication device to prevent Meng Ying from finding out too much. The heavenly coffin in the snow mountain was too important. Su Yin also learned a little about the ancestral hall. It was very terrifying, even more terrifying than the Crepe Myrtle sect. Don't worry about me. Do well in the Crepe Myrtle sect. Su Yin took a deep breath and said, Remember, don't forget you. You are Chinese. Do you understand? Su Yan's serious voice made Yin roll her eyes. But then she sighed and said, "It's too sudden. I don't know when I will be back." "Don't think too much." Su Yin typed in the communication device and said, "Protect yourself. You must be safe. There are 4 of us. Not one of us can be missing." Yin looked at Su Yin and nodded solemnly. Su Yin brought Yin out of the water curtain cave. Meng Ying took out a battleship. This battleship was extremely shocking. It seemed to be made of void stone and could merge with the void. "Go Su." Su Yan's words made Yin's body tremble. She turned around and looked at Su Yan. Su Yan nodded. Yin gritted her teeth and walked towards the battleship. "Take care." Su Yan waved his hand. He was very reluctant to part with her, but he could only force it down. Yin walked to the battleship and took a deep breath. She looked at Su Yan and suddenly waved her hand. "Big brother Su Yan, remember to look for me." Meng Qiaoli sneered. Yin did not look at her. She believed that Su Yan would also become an expert like Shueguan in the future and step into the starry sky. Su Yan was full of smiles. He looked at the battleship and was shocked when he turned around. "Senior Meng, what are you doing?" Meng Ying looked at Su Yan. There was no smile on his face. His tone was cold as he said, "Little friend, I'm here to tell you that in the future, my disciple will become a dazzling pearl in the starry sky. Remember, don't be careful with your words and actions on Alcade Planet." "Senior, what do you mean by that?" Su Yan frowned. "I'm worried. So I'm here to tell you that in the future, my disciple will be the saintess of the Crepe Myrtle sect. Her reputation cannot be tarnished. You and her are not blood-related siblings. Do you understand what I mean?" Meng Ying's words made Su Yan angry. He said in a deep voice, "As long as Senior takes good care of I, Su Yan, will not say a word." "That's good." Meng Ying nodded. Her expression was aloof. Her attitude was completely different from how she treated Shueguan. Although she knew that Su Yan and Yin's relationship was different, in the future, when Yin came into contact with people like Shueguan, Meng Ying believed that Su Yan would disappear from her memories. After all, she believed that Su Yan and Yin would no longer be people of the same world in the future. "This is for you. Treat it as a cultivation resource." Meng Ying's body slowly disappeared into the void, leaving behind a bitter smile on Su Yan's face. He looked at the starry sky, and his breathing was somewhat stifled. He muttered to himself, "In this world, without strength, you are not even worth a fart." Su Yan shook his head. If he had the 5-day Song Gates, would Meng Ying still dare to say such things to him? He opened the storage pouch that Meng Ying had given him. There were quite a lot of things inside. Aside from some elixirs, there was a Dharma armament. What surprised Su Yan was that there was also a mystique. The Great Void Steps. Once cultivated to the large success stage, you can control the power of the void. It is one of the best mystiques for escaping. Meng Ying's voice made Su Yan's face darken. However, this mystique was also incredible. It could touch the power of the void. Once cultivated successfully, Su Yan's speed would increase exponentially. Battle armor. Su Yan looked at the Dharma armament. It was a purple battle armor with amazing defensive capabilities. It could withstand the attacks of a Dharma armament expert. This made Su Yan a little speechless. All the things that Meng Ying had given him were life-saving treasures. It was the same for some elixirs. They were all healing elixirs. Just some of the things that she casually took out were incredible. If you follow her, you will definitely achieve great things in the future. Su Yan turned back to look at the horizon. Although Meng Ying had spoken ill of him, with Yin's physique, Meng Ying would wholeheartedly nurture her. Su Yan sighed in his heart. "Take care, The road ahead is still long." When Su Yan turned back to walk towards the water curtain cave, his face changed drastically. In front of Su Yan, an old man was staring at him with a smile. He was dressed in a green robe and exuded an aura of authority. However, his eyes made Su Yan shudder. This was an old man with a knife hidden in his smile. He was looking at him with a pitiful gaze. Su Yan recognized him. His face changed drastically, and he instantly retreated. "Hee, little guy. Why are you leaving so soon after meeting me? This area was filled with a divine power source that was as deep as the sea. A blurry shadow appeared behind the old man. It was a Dharma idol that was extremely majestic. It was a Dharma idol that was created by laws. It could pierce through the heavens and earth. A Dharma idol expert combat strength was many times stronger than Su Yan's. Furthermore, at such a close distance, Su Yan had no way of defending himself. He was suppressed in an instant. Bastard. Su Yan's face was a little ferocious. He said angrily, "What are you doing? A dead man doesn't need to know so much." The old man in the green robe smiled sinisterly. He pointed his finger, and heaven and earth roared. The terrifying power of laws faintly pierced through the void and pointed at Su Yan. The threat of death made Su Yan's hair stand on end. "Hold on," Su Yan said in a panic. "Shui Guan, why do you want to kill me? You have to give me a reason." Shui Ming frowned slightly. The Dharma idol aura between heaven and earth was slightly restrained. He said coldly, "Little guy, how do you know my background?" Su Yan had met him at the auction. He was standing with the head of the Shui family. Su Yan did not expect that Shui Guan would actually send someone to kill him. This caused the anger in his heart to surge to the heavens. He gritted his teeth and said, "The dignified Shui Guan actually wants to kill a small fry like me. Hee. Do you think the champion of my race will kill a small ant like you?" Shui Ming shook his head and sneered. "It's just that the champion of my race is interested in you. He specially asked me to come over and find out about your background." His aura blazed again. Once the Dharma idol world was activated, the laws surged like the sea. This was an extremely heaven-defying manifestation. The surrounding 100 miles emitted a suffocating wave. Su Yan felt as if he had been struck by lightning. His physical body erupted on its own. In an instant, his blood essence surged. The 5-day zone gates in his body were faintly discernible. This scene made Shui Ming's heart throb violently. He sucked in a breath of cold air and said, "So it's true. You little bastard, you actually cultivated the 5-day zone gates. Your physical body is actually so terrifying. What? Is Shui Guan afraid that I will threaten his position in the future?" Su Yan was stalling for time. He said coldly, "The 5-day zone gates are nothing. In the future, I will open the 9-day zone gates." Hee little guy with just you? Even if you have the potential, do you have the foundation to open the 9-day zone gates? Shui Ming said angrily. "You even dare to threaten the supreme Shui Guan. Do you know how strong the champion of my race is? Crushing you will be as easy as crushing an ant. However, you are really good at hiding. It's a pity. No matter how good you are, you can't escape the eyes of the champion of my race." Shui Guan had almost cultivated the great Tao Heavenly Eye. Just now, he could faintly see that Su Yan's chi was like a dragon. There was a vague, saintly aura in his body. Then why does Shui Guan want to kill me? Champion? Bullsh asterisk T champion. Chapter 187. Shut up. Shui Ming was enraged. He pointed at Su Yan and furiously said, "How dare you? Is my clan's champion someone you can slander? You may have opened the 5-day zone doors, and your talent is exceptional, but you're not even fit to carry my clan's champion's shoes. The future champion of my clan is an invincible existence in the Big Dipper. Who do you think you are? You dare to slander my clan's champion? What a joke. Then why did you kill me?" Su Yan was thinking of a countermeasure. He patiently asked, "Invincible in the Big Dipper? Isn't it too early to say that? The great Shui Guan wants to deal with a small cultivator like me. How shameless." Then I'll let you die a little clearer. First, you were able to open the sacred door. Without a peerless heaven art, it's impossible. My Shui family just so happens to be lacking a clan suppressing scripture. Shui Ming's eyes were filled with greed. He looked at Su Yan as if he was looking at a treasure trove. He couldn't help but laugh. "I didn't expect to see hope in you. What a great clan suppressing scripture." Su Yan's eyes were filled with rage. Yes, opening the sacred door was very difficult. It required a peerless heaven art. However, Su Yan really didn't expect that Shui Guan, who was already known as the Big Dipper Sovereign, would be so shameless as to forcefully seize his cultivation scripture. Of course, this is only one of the reasons. My clan's champion obtained the inheritance of a supreme being and even bid for the origin treasured liquid. Xueming's expression was arrogant as he said, "My clan's champion's foundation is unfathomable. It's just a drop of origin treasured liquid. What does it count for? You can even casually give away a medicine king. The difference between you and my clan's champion is too great. You're just a pauper. Only my clan's clan-suppressing scripture has some value." As for the second reason, it's because of the mysterious expert from Brilliant City. His condition isn't good. Maybe you can find traces of him through you. I guess his scripture was passed down to you by him. Once my Shui family grasps his scripture, it'll be much easier to seize his Dao fruit. Su Yin shuddered. This Shui Guan was too vicious. You already know what you need to know. Don't worry, you're also a genius. I won't let you die in pain. However, I need your memories. A sinister look flashed across Xueming's old face. His aura suddenly soared. For a moment, heaven and earth trembled. The power of the Dharma idol gathered by the laws came crashing down furiously. Su Yin pretended to be in great pain as the 5-day song doors opened. His body recovered, and even the intrinsic cauldron in his body erupted. Boom! The life cauldron shone brilliantly as it hovered in the void. It rumbled as it rotated. Brilliant beams of starry light gushed out from the cauldron one after another. Each beam contained an astonishing divine power source. This is... Xueming's expression changed as he stared at Su Yan's natal cauldron with fiery eyes. He could see that the cauldron's foundation was astounding and its potential was limitless. It was like a huge life star that was on fire. Even with his battle prowess, he almost couldn't hold it back. What a great fortune! This is a priceless treasure. Xueming was crazily excited. This could very well be a legendary supreme-grade celestial body. It was a treasure that could only be chanced upon and not sought. It was hard to buy even if one had the money. Ha ha ha, I never thought that I, Xueming, would have such a fortuitous encounter. Xueming was ecstatic. A huge hand appeared in the void and grabbed at Su Yan's natal cauldron. The cauldron was rumbling. Even though it had limitless potential, Xueming was still a Dharma idol expert. The cauldron whined as it was about to be grabbed by his huge hand. Old fart. Just as Xueming's attention was attracted by the natal cauldron, Su Yan's eyes shone with a cold, killing intent. Chi-Chi. From the space of the phoenix hairpin, bronze short spears flew out like lightning. Every short spear emitted a tragic aura. When the 12 short spears were revived, the array marks within them shot up into the sky. Killing array weapon. Who are you? Xueming's expression changed. He had participated in the auction and naturally knew that the person who bid for the killing array weapon was an important guest of the Cosmos Business Alliance. But how did this item end up in Su Yan's hands? Xueming's expression was uncertain. An important guest of the Cosmos Business Alliance was someone he could not afford to offend. Old fart, why would a dead person know so much? I'll send you on your way, Su Yan shouted. The killing array had been awakened to its peak by him. The 12 short spears made a clanging sound as they neatly stabbed into the ground in all directions. When they were awakened, the earth veins had been completely sucked dry. Even the void had become somewhat dark. This killing array weapon had swallowed the divine energy in all directions. Boom! When this killing array weapon was awakened, billowing murderous aura shot up into the sky. It was like waves tearing through the sky. Huge spears appeared from within, emitting fluctuations that pierced through the void. They shot towards Xueming like lightning. This is bad. This is a complete killing array weapon. It can kill a Dharma characteristic. How can you repair it? Xueming's expression was frantic. The 12 huge spears surrounded by tragic murderous aura shot toward him from all directions. Even the Dharma characteristics he conjured were about to be pierced through. What? Xueming paled. His aura suddenly skyrocketed, and his body rapidly enlarged. It was as if a huge mountain had been born here. This was the combat strength of a Dharma characteristic expert. The divine energy contained within gushed out completely, spewing out towering rule light beams. For a moment, Xueming's Dharma body was as majestic as a huge mountain. It contained surging divine energy. However, no matter how strong Xue Ming's aura was, it was difficult for him to activate the killing array weapon. The 12 long spears tore through the sky with countless murderous auras as they shot toward him. The Dharma characteristics' power that filled the air were completely shattered. Xue Ming was horrified. He felt as if he was about to be torn to shreds by the killing array weapon. Vile spawn, you still want to kill me? Do you think that the experts of the Xue family are made of paper? Xue Ming's combat strength soared to the peak. Weapons even shot out of his body one after another. Each of them was a Dharma characteristic divine weapon. A total of 5 great divine weapons were unleashed. Their auras merged into one, a domain-type treasure. A cold glint flashed in Su Yan's eyes. This treasure was extremely powerful. It blocked the murderous auras that shot toward him. It even blocked the power of the long spears. Although the killing array weapon could kill a Dharma characteristic expert, it would be very difficult to kill him if his opponent was protected by a treasure. Su Yan instantly crossed into the killing array weapon. At this moment, the killing array weapon was under his control. The 12 short spears recovered even more divine energy. He roared furiously. The 12 long spears exploded along with Su Yan's aura. Whoosh! The 12 long spears slashed over. Divine light shone brightly, and the murderous auras surged. They pierced through the void like 5 evil dragons, forcefully causing the 5 Dharma characteristic divine weapons to tremble. You won't be able to kill me. I want to see how long your killing array weapon can last. The divine energy in Xue Ming's body surged and penetrated the 5 Dharma characteristic divine weapons. He used all his strength to resist the killing array weapon's power. His eyes were filled with greed. If he could kill Su Yan and obtain the natal cauldron, he would be rich. He didn't care if he destroyed the 5 Dharma characteristic divine weapons. Of course, the killing array weapon couldn't be activated continuously. The longer it was delayed, the more power it would lose. Su Yan slashed more than 10 times. The killing array weapon's aura had weakened significantly. However, Xue Ming's losses were also great. The 5 Dharma characteristic divine weapons were dim and dull. Brat, wait until I capture you alive. I'll let you know the consequences of offending me. Xue Ming sneered. His sharp senses told him that the killing array weapon was weakening. Old bastard, I'll beat you to death. Su Yan's eyes shone with a divine light as he charged over. The 5 Daesong gates in his body surged with 5 layers of divine energy that contained the might of a saint. In the next moment, Xue Ming's limbs turned cold. He saw Su Yan take out a stellar treasure pagoda. It was filled with the aura of the great Tao. This was undoubtedly a Tao divine weapon. It was so famous in the Big Dipper lineage. Who exactly are you? Xue Ming exclaimed. This person couldn't be a disciple of the Big Dipper Palace, could he? If he killed a disciple who had opened the 5 Daesong gates, the Big Dipper lineage's fury would make Xue Ming tremble. He guessed that Su Yan might be a hidden disciple of the Big Dipper lineage. Just as Xue Ming was having a headache, the stellar treasure pagoda shone brightly. The moment the 10 gates opened, 10 peerless figures appeared. The treasure of the Big Dipper fairy. Who exactly are you? Xue Ming's hair stood on end. He couldn't believe what he was seeing. How could this young man control the treasure of the Big Dipper fairy? I'm your father. Su Yan soared into the sky and threw the stellar treasure pagoda at Xue Ming. This pagoda was too shocking. It gushed with the light of the great Tao, causing the world to rumble. The sun and moon lost their light. Even the vast rivers and mountains were about to shatter. Bang! Under the impact of the stellar treasure pagoda, the 5 Transcendence divine weapons exploded into pieces in an instant. Even the power of the great Tao gushed out from the stellar treasure pagoda and slashed over, causing Xue Ming to scream in pain. His huge conjured body cracked. He spat out a mouthful of blood from his heart. His aura was weak, and he retreated from the lawful embodiment of heaven and earth state. Xue Ming screamed and coughed up blood. His body cracked, and he fell to the ground like a dead dog. His eyes were filled with fear. The Tao divine weapon was too shocking. How could such a treasure be in the hands of Su Yan? Su Yan gasped for breath. The divine power required to operate the stellar treasure pagoda was too great. Especially to use the power of the great Tao, it required an extremely strong foundation. He had almost exhausted it. Su Yan didn't hesitate. He rushed up, raised his fist, and smashed it at Xueming. "Scoundrel, do you still want to kill me?" Xueming's eyes were about to split open. Although he was seriously injured, he could still circulate the power in his body. His palm rose up, and at the moment he struck out at Su Yan's fist, his palm was suffused with a shocking divine splendor. At the moment it collided with Su Yan's fist. Bang! Su Yan's body was blazing. His palm formed a fist imprint, and he used all his strength to smash over. His fist forcefully exploded half of Xueming's arm. "Ah!" Xueming screamed in pain. His heart was filled with disbelief. This person's body seemed to be even more shocking than the sacred door he opened. PFFF. Su Yan gave a muffled groan and staggered back. He was coughing up blood, and his entire body felt as if it had been struck by lightning. He was overwhelmed with shock. A Transcendence Realm expert was too shocking. Xueming, who was almost killed by the Stellar Treasure Pagoda, had almost cracked his body with a palm strike just now. If Su Yan hadn't merged with the primitive treasured liquid and his body's strength hadn't skyrocketed, Xueming's palm strike just now would have been enough to seriously injure him. Su Yan rushed over angrily once again. At the moment when the Inception Sutra was circulated, the sacred door that had been greatly depleted merged with his body. Moreover, Su Yan's entire body was rippling with millions of divine light beams. He could be said to be the reincarnation of an ancient god. Divine physique. Xueming's expression changed drastically. Su Yan's battle prowess had become even stronger. A vast sea of primal chaos even soared behind him, and it was suffused with a matchless fluctuation that could suppress all life forms in the heavens. Xueming was extremely shocked. What kind of vision was this? It made his physique tremble, and he wanted to submit under the pressure of Su Yan's physique. This was a desperate battle. Su Yan and Xueming were locked in close combat. Although Xueming was seriously injured, every strike of his contained the power to shake the void. He struck Su Yan until his entire body was trembling violently. His entire body was filled with piercing pain, and his bones were faintly cracking. However, Xueming's injuries were even more serious. His body was already crippled, and half of his body caved in from Su Yan's attacks. He let out a miserable shriek. When he saw the cold and ruthless Su Yan descending from the sky, Xueming shouted furiously, "If you kill me, the Xue family won't let you off. Our Xue family is like the sun in the sky. Even if a disciple dies, the Xue family will hunt you down with all their might." "Old bastard, you talk too much." Su Yan's eyes were filled with cold light. He pounced over, and his entire body was like a true dragon. He circulated the true dragon's secret art, and his limbs and bones rippled with resplendent golden light. He broke through the air, and a true dragon's afterimage flashed in the sky. Layers and layers of the true dragon's secret art's power were fully recovered. Su Yan's body burst out with true dragon's afterimages, and they crashed onto Xueming's body. Bam! Xueming couldn't withstand it and let out a miserable shriek. His corporeal body ruptured, and his blood dyed the ground red. He flew out and smashed into a small hill, causing dust to fill the sky. Su Yan's body was covered in injuries as he panted heavily. He then quickly flew over like the wind and pointed at Xueming's glabella. Xueming's primordial spirit wasn't completely dead. Xueming's primordial spirit let out a cry of grief and indignation. His corporeal body was completely destroyed, and his primordial spirit was about to dissipate. He still couldn't believe that he had perished in the hands of a small cultivator. However, Su Yan realized that there was a faint layer of terrifying energy in his primordial spirit that was restraining Xueming's dissipating primordial spirit. "Haha, I won't die. Just you wait. My race's experts will be here soon." My primordial spirit has a seal left behind by my race's champion. You will soon know everything, and your outcome will definitely be 100 times worse than mine. Xueming's behavior of seeing hope made Su Yan shake his head and sneer. Just a little primordial spirit energy is enough for you to see a new life? Wait till I slay Shui Guan's primordial spirit, and then your soul will be destroyed. Su Yan clenched his fist, and Xueming's weak primordial spirit immediately rumbled. The seal left behind in the depths of his primordial spirit suddenly burned up, and a peerless and terrifying aura was awakening. This was a portion of Shui Guan's spiritual force awakening. Even though it was just a portion of his primordial spirit energy, it was still filled with invincible divine might. Moreover, this strand of Shui Guan's spiritual force turned into a blurry shadow that stood in the void. He looked down on the heaven and earth, and looked down on the desolate lands. When his cold eyes saw Su Yan, Shui Guan's expression changed. Su Yan had actually killed Xueming. You're still looking down on me? What's with your arrogance? I'll refine you to death. Su Yan's palm rapidly enlarged, and the power of laws intertwined, turning into a furnace. In an instant, Shui Guan's primordial spirit was sucked in. Chapter 188. The furnace blazed fiercely as it imprisoned Shui Guan's primordial spirit within and began to refine it. However, Su Yan had underestimated Shui Guan's primordial spirit. Although this part of the primordial spirit's power wasn't strong at all, it contained the Tao energy left behind by Shui Guan. After all, Shui Guan's cultivation was profound and had already touched upon the great Tao. He was about to comprehend the power of the great Tao and step into the ranks of the universe's experts. When that time came, he would be a mighty lord with world-shaking battle prowess. This was the demeanor of a young supreme being. Shui Guan's primordial spirit suddenly became terrifying. It was as if it had transformed into a great Tao vortex, emitting a powerful aura. Although it was only a part of his primordial spirit, Shui Guan was still high and mighty as he overlooked all living things. He was like an emperor, indescribably noble. Open! The moment his primordial spirit shouted, his Tao energy recovered and instantly smashed the furnace into pieces. Shui Guan's might was shocking. He was still sitting cross-legged in the void, his divine might awe-inspiring as he overlooked the territory like a giant. Boom! At this moment, the aura of the great Tao pervaded the area within 1,000 miles. This wasn't real power, but a kind of Tao energy. Although this kind of Tao energy was still somewhat indistinct, it had already manifested a little. For a moment, it had the power to burn mountains and boil seas. There's the aura of a great figure. Just now, the battle between Su Yan and Xueming had alarmed the nearby crowd. Now, the commotion was even more shocking. The Tao energy majestically swept through the mountain forest, causing everyone to tremble in fear and suffocate. One could imagine how shocking the Tao energy was. Once it was grasped, no matter how strong one's cultivation was, they would be suppressed by it. Heavens, it's the great Northern Dipper Supreme. Everyone within 1,000 miles was shocked by Shui Guan's aura. These people looked over and saw a huge figure appear in the distance. He sat cross-legged between heaven and earth, looking down on the heavens and the great Northern Dipper. He had the majesty of a ruler of the world. Isn't this too savage? Where does he put the great Northern Dipper Supreme? What happened next left them flabbergasted. They saw a shadow awaken. His divine might was admittedly much weaker than Supreme Shui Guan's, but Su Yan's actions made him feel scared. He erupted once again. In terms of his grasp of regulations, Su Yan had already reached the pinnacle. The heavens and earth rumbled, and as the power of rules rose and fell, it slowly condensed into a huge furnace. The oven devours the heavens suddenly exploded with power, and then it came down with a rumble, directly swallowing Shui Guan. The onlookers were scared silly. Who was so domineering as to actually swallow Shui Guan into the furnace and even refine him? This person is too ferocious. He trapped Shueguan's divine consciousness in the furnace and refined it. Who could be so ferocious? When did such a ferocious man appear in the Big Dipper constellation? Their hearts trembled, and they didn't dare to go over and watch. However, they saw the furnace, which was formed by the convergence of the laws of heaven and earth, light up and rumble as it forcibly refined this portion of the power of Shueguan's primordial spirit. "You will die miserably, very miserably," Xueming roared unwillingly. Who dared to humiliate the great Northern Dipper Supreme? Who dared to refine his primordial spirit into a pile of ashes? Now, they really wanted to see Su Yan's end, but his primordial spirit was also destroyed. The power of the oven devours caused Shueguan's divine consciousness to distort. His eyes emitted a cold light as he stared at Su Yan. He was still high and mighty. "Shueguan, you snob. Sooner or later, I, Su Yan, will trample you under my feet." Su Yan's eyes emitted killing intent. If it wasn't for the killing array and the star pagoda, he knew very well that he would have become a corpse by now. Just because of Shueguan's greed, he had almost died. How furious was Su Yan in his heart? Buzz! The furnace was resplendent as it refined Shueguan's divine consciousness completely. After doing all this, Su Yan directly took out the space-breaking array. After opening it, he crossed the territory and fled far away from this area. The territory was quiet. The onlookers were still immersed in the shock of what had just happened. Shueguan's divine consciousness had been refined alive. This was a humiliation to the great Northern Dipper Supreme. If news of this spread out, it would cause a big commotion in the Big Dipper constellation. Boom! In less than half an instance's time, waves of stifling fluctuations came from the direction of Brilliant City. From afar, one could see the Chaos War Chariot crossing over. It wasn't just Shueguan. Some of the geniuses in Brilliant City had also rushed over. Shueguan's furious appearance surprised the Little Dragon King and the others, and they also followed behind. The Chaos War Chariot had a grand aura as it revolved around the Chaos Light Beam. Shueguan sat cross-legged in the chaos like the divine king of the Big Dipper. His eyes looked down at the world with shocking might. His eyes were staring at a broken corpse expressionlessly. Shueguan was a little surprised. A small cultivator had killed Xueming instead. Interesting. Shueguan sneered in his heart. When he first saw Su Yan, Shueguan could faintly see that Su Yan's foundation was extremely strong. He had even opened the sacred gate. However, he really didn't expect that Su Yan had the foundation to kill a Transcendence Realm cultivator. Good fellows. It was Xueming who was killed. Yao Guang and the others were astonished. This person could be considered as Shueguan's elder. Now, he had actually died tragically here. After all, Shueguan was now at the peak of his power. Who would dare to make a move on the Shui family? Such an interesting thing actually happened. It seems like Shueguan still doesn't know that a part of his divine sense has been cut off. His memory has also been erased. The Little Dragon King and the others were very interested. When they asked the nearby people what happened, their expressions were very interesting as they began to discuss. Shueguan, oh Shueguan, this is really embarrassing. His divine sense has been imprisoned and refined. The Little Dragon King was watching the show. He was very happy that a member of the Shui family had died. In addition, he had tricked Shuelong at the last auction. Although he didn't get many heavenly essence stones, he was in a very good mood these days. However, the Little Dragon King's expression was somewhat serious. He felt that Shueguan's cultivation was astonishing. There were rumors that Shueguan had obtained the inheritance of a supreme expert. He didn't know if this was true or not. Just as the experts of the Shui family arrived, the surrounding thousands of miles were emitting a bitter killing intent. The Shui family master was furious on the spot. No matter who it is, find out. I will turn his bones to dust. The Shui family master was extremely angry. Although Xueming wasn't considered a big shot, he was still an important member of the Shui family. The wilderness near Brilliant City was very chaotic. A large number of cultivators from the Shui family had arrived to search for the murderer. Big news! The Northern Dipper Sovereign's divine sense has been refined by a ruthless person. In less than half a day, Brilliant City was in an uproar. At that time, many people had seen this matter. Now that the news was spread, it caused great waves. The Northern Dipper Sovereign was like the sun in the sky in the Northern Dipper starfield. But he was humiliated, and his divine sense was even imprisoned in a furnace and turned into ashes. This matter was too big. It concerned the dignity of the Shwegwan. How could the Shwe family not be angry? Who has the guts to do this? Although it's only a part of his divine sense, the dignity of the Northern Dipper Sovereign is not to be challenged. Shwe Ming has also fallen. It must be the same person who did it. I don't know who is so bold to kill Shwe Ming and humiliate the Northern Dipper Sovereign. What a ruthless person. He must be a heaven's pride. Otherwise, he wouldn't have been able to kill Shwe Ming. Brilliant City was in an uproar. When the Shwe family master returned, his nose was almost crooked from anger. Who was the one who spread this news? Now, the whole city was in an uproar. Some people were laughing at the Shwegwan. How dare you humiliate my brother? Long roared in exasperation. I don't care who you are. When we find out, we'll exterminate your entire family. If you kneel in front of Brilliant City and beg for forgiveness, we'll still forgive you. The Shwe family was furious. A large group of Shwe family experts came to Brilliant City. The older generation had all come out. In a short time, Brilliant City was surging like a storm. All the major powers were suspicious. The Shwe family's reaction was too intense. After all, it was only a strand of divine sense that had been refined. There was no need to make such a big fuss. This little bastard better not fall into my hands. Otherwise, I'll skin you alive. I can't deal with Shwegwan, but you think I can't deal with you? Suyin also quietly mixed in with the crowd. Soon, he arrived near Brilliant City just in time to hear Shwe Long's words. Su Yan's eyes were suffused with a cold light. Shwegwan is too vicious. He wants to kill me just to steal my scripture. Now that he's entrenched in Brilliant City, he must want to capture me. At this time, Su Yan observed the terrain and became one with the earth vein energy. He sensed the aura of Brilliant City. He faintly sensed a familiar aura in Brilliant City. However, this aura was extremely tyrannical. It was definitely Shwegwan. No, I can't go back. Shwegwan has seen me before and knows my aura. With his divine abilities, he might discover me as soon as I arrive in Brilliant City. Suyin didn't dare to rashly enter the city. With his mastery of the 9 transformations, experts could easily see through him. No, I can't just sit here and wait for death. With the Shwe family's strength, they're definitely much more terrifying than Gopong. Suyin hesitated for a moment. Then he called out an ordinary cultivator from the crowd and said that he could give him 1,000 origin essence stones for a gift. Suyin faintly displayed his battle prowess. This cultivator hurriedly nodded in agreement. 1,000 origin essence stones was already quite a lot. He took the gift from Suyin and rushed to Bao Cai's shop. Uncle Bao Cai, Suyin sent some things. They're probably for you. There's also a letter. On the second floor of Bao Cai's shop, Tai Bao Cai's eyes were red. He was calculating the origin essence stones he had obtained. His expression was unfriendly, as if someone had stepped on his tail. The little old man ran up with a bruised face. It seemed that he had been taught a lesson by Tai Bao Cai. Tai Bao Cai stared at him with a fierce expression. The little old man trembled in fear and hurriedly said, Uncle Bao Cai, the origin essence stones were really taken away by Su Yan. Look, he even sent some things over. Where did that brat run off to? How did he take so many origin essence stones from this beast god? Did he stir up some trouble? When I see him, I'll definitely teach him a lesson. Tai Bao Cai's face darkened. He took out the letter that Su Yan had sent and read it. Tai Bao Cai shook its fur. Its eyes were red and bloodshot, as if someone had stolen its wife. The fur on its body began to stand on end. Tai Bao Cai's condition was not right. It was like a giant hedgehog. This scene made the little old man's hair stand on end. He shuddered and said in a trembling voice, Uncle Bao Cai, I still have matters to attend to in the shop. I'll leave first. The little old man hurriedly went downstairs. Then, the little old man heard Tai Bao Cai let out a series of wild laughter. The little old man had goosebumps all over his body. Tai Baokai seemed to have gone crazy. Its laughter was too horrifying. The inheritance of an almighty. Tai Baokai was so excited that its entire body trembled. It almost spat out white foam. Its eyes were red and its entire body was trembling. The inheritance of an almighty. Tai Baocai's eyes were as big as copper bells. It opened its eyes wide and read the letter that Su Yin had sent inside and out many times. It roared in its heart. The inheritance of an almighty. Shueguan has the chaos chariot. He must have obtained the inheritance of an almighty. Damn, he can casually give out medicine kings. He's so rich that people are flowing with medicine kings. Zhu Yin is nothing. This Shueguan is definitely a landlord. If I can dig out Shueguan's lair, wouldn't I be rich? Tai Baokai grinned. No, Shueguan can't have obtained everything from an almighty. He hasn't comprehended the great Tao. If he can find the inheritance of an almighty, he will definitely obtain a heaven-defying fortune. If Shueguan comprehended the great Tao, he should be able to obtain all the inheritance of an almighty. No, this beast god can't just sit there and do nothing. Tai Baokai was so excited that it bared its teeth. It rushed all the way, causing the entire street to be in chaos. There were shouts and curses everywhere. Tai Baokai was so excited that it jumped up. It raised its head and perked up its two big ears. It threw Su Yan's primordial spirit projection out to the most popular street. This street was filled with golden light. A huge light screen appeared here. Xueming's figure appeared and was talking arrogantly. My race's champion obtained the inheritance of an almighty and bid for the primordial elixir. What's a drop of primordial elixir? You can give away any medicine king as you wish. Tai Baokai opened its mouth and howled. Its voice spread throughout the entire brilliant city. Chapter 189. Tai Baocai's voice was so loud that it reverberated throughout the entire Alcade city. It didn't matter if it was Shueguan, the inheritance of a mighty figure, or even the king of medicine. These words were truly captivating, causing many people to be shocked. All of them were searching for the source of the voice. When they saw the destination, the entire Alcade city quietened down. This was especially so for the most crowded street. Everyone was shocked by Xueming's voice. They were all frightened. First of all, Xueming was already a dead man. Now, this matter had caused an uproar. But now, Xueming's primordial spirit projection had left them dumbstruck. A king of medicine was given away, casually. Even the origin-treasured liquid had been taken by the Xue family. Also, a mighty figure's inheritance? Unbelievable! They were all dumbfounded. This was a scene that left them flabbergasted. The scene was also very clear. Then, they saw Shueguan take out a jade box. After opening it, a king of medicine appeared. They also saw Shueguan giving the Dao weapon to Meng Qiaoli. The only thing missing was the scene of E.C. Yun and Meng Ying. Heavens! Everyone's eyes turned red as their bodies trembled. A king of medicine was given away casually, and a Dao weapon was given to a woman. This was too rich. Even the Alcade Hall Master's face trembled violently when he saw this scene. This was a king of medicine. How could it be ordinary? Every stock could prolong one's life and was of great help to the older generation of cultivators. However, Shueguan casually took out a king of medicine and gave it to someone. It's really a king of medicine. Could Shueguan have really obtained a mighty figure's inheritance? Alcade City was in an uproar as discussions filled the sky. Tai Baocai's howls had made them jealous. Shueguan had obtained a mighty figure's inheritance? After all, this was said by Xueming. Coupled with the rumors in the cultivation world, it seemed like Shueguan had really obtained a mighty figure's inheritance. Bullshit! The Xue family master's eyes were about to split open as he almost coughed out a mouthful of blood. He was flustered and exasperated as he stretched out his hand from afar and covered the entire street. He directly smashed the primordial spirit projection thrown out by Tai Baokai. He was about to explode from anger. After all, Shueguan was still young and had yet to enter the ranks of experts. Once he was targeted by some old freaks, they would definitely cripple him. A mighty figure's inheritance. A mighty figure's inheritance. King of medicine. The entire brilliant city was filled with a strange atmosphere. The older generation sucked in a breath of cold air because the amount of information in these primordial spirit projections was too great. Moreover, there was an 80% to 90% chance that it was real. My Shui clan's enemy, why aren't you showing yourself? You're using such a despicable method to slander my clan's champion. Family head Shui soared into the sky with a ferocious look on his face. He said angrily, "My son, Guanjuan, is in Brilliant City waiting for you to kill him. Let's see how many lives you can let my Shui family take." Shui Guan and the others were all agitated. They all stared at Shui Guan. Primordial spirit projection. In reality, it was the projection of a cultivator's primordial spirit. This projection could be faked, but it required an expert who had comprehended the great Tao. But would such an expert make a joke out of this? Moreover, they had long suspected that the primordial elixir had been taken by the Shui family. They thought back to the Shui family's sudden arrival of so many great experts. Could it be that they were here to escort the primordial elixir back? Honglong, strands of terrifying aura surged over, causing Shui Guan to become ice-cold. This was the awakening of one mighty lord after another. They were hibernating in the void, quietly surging with heaven overflowing aura. The entire Shui Guan city was on the verge of collapsing. This was killing intent. It was being released in Shui Guan City without any concealment. Some people couldn't resist the temptation to take action. Shui Guan was here. Once they killed him, they could obtain the King of Medicine, the Chaos War Chariot, and the Primordial Elixir. Shui Guan City was surging with winds and clouds. Some people boldly speculated that there would definitely be mighty lords of the older generation coming out to deal with Shui Guan. Suyin had already left a long time ago. He was preparing to refine the heavenly essence stone on him before returning to take a look. Honglong. What made Su Yin overjoyed was that not long after he left, endless divine light gushed out from Shui Guan City. It pierced through the heavens as if 100,000 volcanoes were erupting. It was terrifying and world-shocking. The divine light even covered the stars in outer space. Someone is making a move. It was a shocking scene. The heavens were submerged in divine splendor as the power of the great Tao surged out. It turned into a resplendent and dazzling golden-winged great pump. It spread its wings and tore through the void. It was like a golden sea as it rushed towards Shui Guan's official residence. Kacha. The entire official residence was split into pieces. The golden-winged Great Peng's pervasive airflow crushed it, making the Shui family's cultivators feel as if they were struck by lightning. This divine bird could be said to be carved out of gold. It shone brightly and emitted a killing intent that could tear apart the heavens and split the seas. The people of Shui Guan City felt their scalps go numb. Someone actually made a move to kill Shui Guan. Honglong. Suddenly, the golden Overlord revived. A huge dragon shadow soared behind him and pierced through outer space. It's the Golden Dragon King. What is he doing? Everyone felt that it was inconceivable. The Golden Dragon King was domineering at this moment. He held a Fontian halberd and slashed horizontally. Bloody light surged and split open the heavens. He killed the golden-winged Great Peng on the spot. Golden Dragon King. The Shui family's head was delighted. He didn't expect the Golden Dragon King to make a move. Little Dragon King. Why did Lord Golden Dragon King make a move? The Little Dragon King's subordinates were anxious and very puzzled. Hearing this, the Little Dragon King sneered. You're thinking too simply. Kill Shui Guan? How can it be so easy? The Shui family's experts have always been secretly protecting Shui Guan. They're definitely at the level of an ancestor. What happened just now was just a test. Who knows? Maybe it was my father who did it. Ah, nephew Shui, are you all right? The Golden Dragon King was wearing a golden robe. He was a demon overlord. At this moment, he was walking like a dragon or tiger. He wore a purple gold crown on his head, and he looked mighty and domineering. He held a Fontian halberd in one hand and stood on top of the sunken official residence. He looked at the calm Shueguan. "Thank you, Golden Dragon King, for your help." Shueguan bowed. "This kind of scoundrel can't hurt me. It's good that you're fine." The Golden Dragon King walked over and sighed. "I, the Golden Dragon King, have dominated the Big Dipper Star region for thousands of years. My lifespan is running out. Nephew Shue, I see that you have a lot of king herbs. Can you sell one to me?" This Golden Dragon King really knows how to find an opportunity to ask. Everyone was dumbfounded. So this was what the Golden Dragon King wanted. He wanted to buy king herbs. The smile on the Shue family head's face disappeared. He walked over and squeezed out a smile. "Golden Dragon King, don't listen to slander. My son, Guanjuan, is the supreme ruler of the Big Dipper Star region. He has many enemies. You can't believe what you just heard. Are you afraid that I'll cheat you? I, the Golden Dragon King, would never cheat you, Nephew Shue. Am I right, Nephew Shue?" The Golden Dragon King was unhappy. After all, it was a king herb. If he could get it, the Golden Dragon King would be able to stand at the peak of the Golden Era and protect the Golden Dragon King bloodline for thousands of years. Tai Baokai and the Little Dragon King had their arms around each other's shoulders. They boarded the Starry Sky formation and rushed to the various ancient planets of the Big Dipper Star region. In just a day, the news had spread throughout the entire Big Dipper Star region. Shueguan has a large number of king herbs. He has obtained the inheritance of a supreme being. The Big Dipper Star region was in an uproar. Some of the elders in the Big Dipper Star Palace could no longer sit still. The king herbs were too precious. Some of the elders in the Big Dipper Star region couldn't hold on any longer and needed king herbs to prolong their lives. Although they had holy herbs contained the power of the Great Tao. Holy herbs were extremely important to a clan, but they were used to comprehend the Great Tao. Under normal circumstances, they wouldn't use holy herbs to prolong their lives. Day after day, Brilliant City was bustling with activity. Important figures from all over the world came one after another. Damn it, who spread the news? The Shue family head's face was ashen. The news of the inheritance of a supreme being had spread throughout the Big Dipper Star region. Some of the powers that were on good terms with the Shue family came to buy king herbs. The Shue family was worried that these powers would join forces and target the Shue family. Oh my God, are these old bastards crazy? Little Dragon King was in disbelief. He didn't expect so many people to come. He could faintly sense that under the night sky, there were at least a dozen masters hiding in the dark. They were emitting monstrous killing intent without any concealment. "That's a king herb," Tai Baokai said disdainfully. "Do you know what a king herb is? Your father's lifespan can't last more than 1,000 years, right? Think about it. These old monsters who are nearing the end of their lifespan. What wouldn't they do in order to live a few more years? If they die, they'll have nothing. If they take a gamble, they might be able to fight for another lifetime." Little Dragon King couldn't help but nod. Generally speaking, existences like Brilliant's Palace Master had a lifespan of 5,000 to 6,000 years at most. King herbs could prolong their lifespan by 1,000 years. The majestic life essence within could allow the Golden Dragon King to stand at the peak of his life. The stronger the cultivation, the less time a king herb could prolong their lifespan. However, even a few dozen years was enough for some old monsters who were about to die to fight for their lives. On this day, it was as if a cosmic ocean was floating in the sky above Brilliant City. A beast king with a terrifying aura had arrived. Just by a little bit of its aura, it could be said that it was a prehistoric dragon. A magnificent scene of the sun, moon, and stars was engraved in the sky. An ancestor from the giant starry sky beast lineage came to beg the king herb. His lifespan is not long. What a terrifying aura. Brilliant's Palace Master and the rest are all referring to themselves as juniors. What's the meaning of this? Even a group of elders from the Big Dipper Palace Master came to beg the king herb. Will Shueguan sell it? The Shue family even brought their clan's most precious treasure. The Primal Chaos treasure is operating day by day to prevent people from targeting Shueguan. In just 3 to 5 days, the number of masters gathered on Brilliant's planet had almost doubled. The atmosphere in the city was very oppressive. The shadows of masters were coming and going at night. Some of their eyes were like red lanterns as they stared at the place where Shueguan was in seclusion. The Shuef family was very anxious. In the end, the Grand Elder of the Big Dipper Palace Master rushed over with the Big Dipper Palace Master's primal chaos treasure. After all, he was the Grand Elder of the Big Dipper Palace Master. For a moment, he was able to suppress some of the storms in Brilliant City. Some of the old fellows who wanted to join forces in the dark were also apprehensive. They didn't expect that the Grand Elder of the Big Dipper Palace Master would protect Shueguan. This old fart, the Big Dipper Star region belongs to your Big Dipper Palace Master. Even a disciple of an ancient aristocratic family could become the Big Dipper Palace Master. Your ancestors' old faces have all been thrown away by you. Now, you are still shamelessly coming to protect Shueguan. The Tai Baokai was so angry that it almost vomited blood. It had a premonition that a huge storm was about to erupt and kill Shueguan. Even if it couldn't kill Shueguan, it would be enough to figure out the origins of Shueguan's inheritance. However, the Grand Elder of the Big Dipper Palace Master's cultivation was profound. He sat here with a chaos supreme treasure and suppressed some people. The little Dragon King was also secretly resentful. Shueguan almost couldn't protect himself. Now that the Grand Elder of the Big Dipper Palace Master was here, two Chaos Supreme Treasures were hanging side by side in Brilliant City. Who would dare to use force? Invite Han Tong here for me. Shueguan's eyes were cold. He was trapped and wouldn't be able to leave Brilliant City in a short period of time. He really didn't expect that a small cultivator in his eyes, Su Yin, who he couldn't even be bothered to kill, would actually push him into a dangerous situation. Now, Shueguan was like a moving treasure house. Everyone wanted to take away a king medicine. When he took out the king medicine and gave it to Yi Si Yun, he wanted to be on good terms with the Crepe Myrtle sect. He knew very well what it meant for Yi Si Yun to go to the Crepe Myrtle sect. She would definitely be the next saintess of the Crepe Myrtle sect. Maybe in the future, when he walked the supreme path of conquering the star field, the saintess of the Crepe Myrtle sect would be by his side. Not good, Master Baokai. Everyone outside is saying that Su Yin has been captured alive. The little old man hurriedly ran to the second floor. Tai Baokai was happily gnawing on bamboo. When it heard this, it was stunned. It got up and madly rushed outside. Not good. The Big Dipper Palace has the inheritance of the divine mathematician. Tai Baokai slipped out. The city was in an uproar. It was slightly relieved. They hadn't caught Su Yin yet. They only confirmed his tracks. Big news. The real culprit behind Xue Ming's death has been found. He's near Marsh City. What? The real culprit behind the scenes has actually arrived. Who did it? It's not clear yet. It said that Go Peng's son, Go Jingming, was also killed by him. How did they know? The little Dragon King was astonished. It was Han Tong who deduced this person's tracks. Now that the Alcade Palace Hall has sent people to arrest him, we'll know the truth soon. These words made the little Dragon King's expression change. Han Tong was good at deduction. He didn't expect that he would be able to obtain the true inheritance. Will Supreme Shueguan also kill his way over? It shouldn't be. There are so many experts of the older generation in Alcade City who are begging to buy king herbs. It's very difficult for Shueguan to leave Alcade City. Maybe someone will make a move on him halfway. After all, Alcade City has the foundation of the Big Dipper Palace Hall. If they force Shueguan to make a deal with the Big Dipper Palace Hall, even with the foundation of the Alcade Palace Hall, it's enough to protect him. Shueguan sat cross-legged in the Chaos Chariot. His figure was blurry, but he couldn't help but emit the charm of the Great Tao. His eyes were cold. He didn't care about a small cultivator at all. He quietly waited for Su Yin to be captured and brought here. He really wanted to know how Su Yin opened the sacred gate. On this day, Marsh City wasn't peaceful. A large group of Alcade Palace Hall's cultivators crossed over and rushed towards the forest outside. For a moment, the city was filled with rumors and slanders. Something isn't right. Su Yin was meditating as though nothing had happened. The essence qi in his body was surging. The medicinal efficacy of the Heaven's Essence Stone was very shocking. Su Yin had refined more than 1.5 kilograms of Heaven's Essence Stone and was about to touch the sixth heaven of Dao Sect realm. Something isn't right. Su Yin opened his eyes. In the haze, he realized that he was exposed to the world. He couldn't be wrong. He was about to cultivate to the third grade of the mystical sect realm. He had a sharp intuition towards the changes in the world. It was obvious that there was an indescribable aura staring at him just now. This is bad. How they know I'm here? Su Yin crawled up and triggered the chi of the earth veins. His expression changed instantly. Many people rushed over from all directions and were closing in on him. Chapter 190. The cultivators from Marsh City who had rushed over to watch were all shocked. A large number of Alcade Hall disciples were transported over from the void array. Cold light shone on their iron robes, and their bodies rippled with killing intent. Why are there so many people from Alcade Hall? This scene astonished the cultivators of Marsh City. Marsh City wasn't a bustling city, and Alcade Hall disciples rarely came here. After a while, another group of people was transported over from the void array. The leader was a great expert from the Shui family. His expression was cold, and his eyes were filled with rage. After all, because of Su Yin, the Shui family situation was very bad. The temptation of the Medicine King was too great. Although the Shui family had managed to get the help of the Big Dipper Palace's Grand Elder, Shuiguan had to pay a price and agree to sell a stock of king herb to the Big Dipper Palace's Grand Elder. That was the Medicine King. It was a rare treasure that Shuiguan couldn't sell. Now, he had no choice but to take it out to protect him. Now, the entire Shui family was filled with resentment. In addition to Shui Ming's death, the Shui family couldn't wait to eat Su Yin. Now, they had found him, but the Shui family's experts couldn't come. They were all in Alcade City protecting Shuiguan. Tianlong, be careful. There are people outside who want to deal with our clan's champion. Nothing must happen to you. Otherwise, the champion will be in a passive position. The Shui family's elder reminded him worriedly. This made the young Shui Long angrily say, "Elder, are you being too careful? Who is my elder brother? He's the Big Dipper Hall. He obtained the inheritance of a mighty figure and has a shocking foundation. So what if these old things covet him? Once my elder brother reveals his trump card, it's enough to kill a large number of them. Also, I have a protective artifact that my elder brother gave me. Don't worry." Shualong didn't mind at all. He sneered and said, "And this person, he dared to target my elder brother and even killed Uncle Shuiming. I must make him kneel in Alcade City." The Shui family's elder heaved a sigh of relief. He was really worried about an accident. Since Shuelong had a protective artifact, he was relieved. He also wanted to see who the mastermind was. Boom! The people of the wilderness roared and howled. Alcade Palace's army rushed out, waving their flags and shouting their battle cries. The mountain forest was in chaos. Vicious beasts were hibernating, not daring to come out. They were all fighting, and it felt like something big was going to happen here. After all, Go Peng was the vice hall master. In addition, because of the matter with Shuiguan, Hall Master Yao Guang had personally given the order to dispatch the 10 great legacy disciples and Go Peng to surround and capture Su Yin. Isn't this a little too grand? 10 great legacy disciples and Vice Palace Master Go Peng. Who are they trying to capture? Who on Alcade Planet would dare to make an enemy out of Alcade Palace Hall? I don't know. Right now, Brilliant City is already chaotic enough. Look, even Sky Dragon from the Shui family is here. Could it be related to the Big Dipper Sovereign? The spectators discussed animatedly. There were many people who had come. The auras of the 10 great legacy disciples were majestic and contained the aura of divine abilities. In Alcade Hall, only cultivators at the divine ability realm were qualified to become legacy disciples. The 10 great legacy disciples were already an impressive lineup. In addition, there were also many core disciples. The battle formation was very grand. Some people were waving flags and shouting, and the sound of killing surged and shook all directions. They rode on all kinds of vicious beasts and trampled through the mud. Everywhere they passed, the mountains shook as they charged towards their destination. Kacha! The cave that Su Yan was in had already collapsed. Unable to withstand the murderous aura coming from all directions, an inheritance disciple took out a killing weapon and illuminated the vacuum. He said coldly, "Remember, capture this person alive. Do not kill him." Divine light flourished between the heaven and earth. Over 100 Alcade Hall disciples uniformly surrounded them, leaving the entire cave completely impenetrable. Within the cave, Su Yan noticed that it was only Go Peng, a law phase realm cultivator. He let out a breath of relief and secretly took out a killing weapon. In his heart, he was furious. What a dogskin plaster. If I don't teach you all a lesson, you'll think that I, Su Yan, am easy to bully. Su Yan was also very puzzled. How'd they find you all? Could it be that there was still a divine diviner in this world who could deduce his whereabouts? I have to leave this place as soon as possible. Goping couldn't find me at first, so it must be Shueguan's doing. Once the important figures of the Shui family come here, there's no way I can escape. Su Yan thought to himself. He quickly thought. He didn't know if the killing weapon could kill Go Peng. After all, he had already used it once. The divine power contained within the killing weapon was not small. Ha ha ha! Go Peng had already rushed over. He was laughing loudly. He was high above and looked down at the cave. Through the cracks, he could see the person in the cave. There was no doubt that it was Su Yan. "Brat, I have to say that you're extremely daring. You even dared to kill someone from the Shui family. You even dared to provoke Supreme Shueguan. You got guts," Go Peng said coldly. "Get out here immediately and kneel here. If you resist, I'll cut you into 1,000 pieces and make you suffer all kinds of pain. Go Peng, I was kind enough to help you clean up your family and deal with the black sheep. Instead of thanking me, you came to deal with me." Su Yan's eyes were filled with coldness. He walked out of the cave. His loud voice frightened the surrounding people. What surprised them was that he was actually a young man around 20 years old. He had shoulder-length black hair and a tall and straight figure. The surrounding people were stunned. Who would have thought that the person behind the scenes who had caused planet Alkay to fly like a dog was actually a young man? Hearing this, Go Peng's face turned ashen. He almost spat out a mouthful of blood. He laughed angrily. "You sharp-tongued little evil creature. Now that you've fallen into my hands, you still dare to be disrespectful to me. If I don't break your legs, where will the dignity of my Alcade Palace Hall be?" The disciples of the 10 great inheritances approached on their ferocious beasts. One of them coldly said, "Nameless pawn, tell me your name." "I never kill nameless people." "All of you listen up. This great master will never change his name. Your great master Su Yan is here." Su Yan's voice rolled over and resounded in all directions. The surrounding people were all stunned. With such an arrogant appearance, was he not afraid of dying without a burial ground? "Su Yan, this name sounds familiar. I remember now. The little dragon king invited him to join his faction, but he was rejected by Su Yan. I didn't expect him to die here. What a pity. So it's him. I think this Su Yan has some confidence. Maybe he can escape." "How is that possible? Even the Vice Palace Master Go Peng is here. He is a veteran powerhouse who has touched upon the Great Tao. Maybe one day he will become a big shot." Some of the monster race cultivators were also here. They were all speechless. They didn't receive any news at all, and Go Peng and the others had already arrived, with the Vice Palace Master of Alcade Palace Hall overseeing this place. Even if the little Dragon King came, it would be very difficult to bring Su Yan out safely. Impudent. The Alcade Palace Hall's inheritances were furious. The ferocious beasts they were riding were all roaring. They madly rushed over and leaped up. Ominous glints shot out in all directions. "I'll kill you." The inheritance's disciple was shocked and angry at the same time. He held a war spear in his hand. The moment he erupted, dazzling rays of light that contained the power of divine abilities shot out like lightning. It cut open the vast sky and drew a big crack. So strong, the onlookers were shocked. The Alcade Palace Hall's inheritance's disciples were all great experts of the divine ability secret realm. Their battle strength was tyrannical. At the moment he rushed over, the divine ability secret door in his body suddenly opened. A majestic divine ability aura gushed out. For a moment, his power skyrocketed, illuminating the night sky. It was dazzling and dazzling. The night sky was bright, and the divine light of the stars surged. The divine spear's aura was overbearing. It struck out, and for a moment, the Alcade Palace Hall's inheritance's disciple was extraordinary. Transcendence, godly armor. The next moment, the surrounding people were stunned. They saw Su Yin wearing a purple armor. The moment he recovered, his entire body burst out with a monstrous purple divine light that illuminated the night sky. This was the Transcendence, godly armor, which was extremely precious. After all, the forging of a godly armor required a lot of materials. Usually, the forging of a godly armor required 3 Transcendence, godly weapons. This Transcendence, godly armor was given to him by Meng Ying. Its defensive power was extremely strong and could withstand the power of a Transcendence realm expert. Clang! This war spear struck Su Yan's body. Clang! Clang! Sparks flew. Its defensive power was too shocking. What? The Alcade Palace Hall's inheritance's disciple was not shocked, but delighted. This kind of Transcendence godly armor could only be used for defense. Although it could not be used for battle, if he obtained this kind of godly armor, it would be extremely difficult for cultivators of the same realm to shake him. It's just a tortoise shell. Come over here, ha ha ha. The Alcade Palace Hall's inheritance's disciple laughed loudly. He stretched out his palm and grabbed Su Yan's head. At this moment, Su Yan's hidden aura suddenly rose from the ground. Rolling golden light soared into the sky. Su Yan's physical body and sacred gate merged into one. His life cauldron awakened and erupted with unparalleled, super strong battle strength. Kill! He roared angrily. His palm formed a fist seal. The moment it soared up, a true dragon phantom faintly appeared behind him. This punch was powerful and domineering, containing a shocking, offensive power. In an instant, it struck out and collided with the Alcade Palace Hall's inheritance's disciple's fist. Su Yan did not move. No matter how strong the mystical power was, it could not move the Transcendence godly armor. On the contrary, the Alcade City's inheritance's disciple trembled all over. A series of bone-cracking sounds could be heard. Under the flabbergasted gazes of all around, the Alcade City's inheritance's disciple's entire palm could not withstand Su Yan's physical strength. His arm collapsed layer by layer, and even half his body caved in. Ah! The Alcade City's inheritance's disciple let out a tragic cry. The ferocious beast he was riding disintegrated under Su Yan's power. He coughed out a mouthful of blood and flew out like a dead dog. Impossible! The surrounding people paled. Although Su Yan had the Transcendence godly armor protecting his body, it was still very difficult for him to paralyze the Alcade Palace Hall's inheritance's disciple with a single punch. What a terrifying physical body. It's like I'm looking at the sun. His vitality is surging, and his meridians are like dragons and tigers. His physical body is too domineering. He's not at the Transcendent realm, but he can injure a Transcendent realm cultivator. The monster race cultivators were all scared. No wonder the little Dragon King invited him. It turned out that this person's combat strength was so abnormal. Bastard! Gopeng almost spat out a mouthful of old blood. He screamed, "Kill him! I want to grind his bones to dust." His heart ached. This should have been his son's good fortune. He speculated that Su Yan had bathed in the true dragon's blood to have such a strong physical body. For a time, cultivators from all directions madly rushed over. Together with Gopeng, it could be said that they were like a stormy sea from the 9 heavens. They forced their way towards Su Yan. They were already less than 10 meters away from him. With just this kind of pressure, Su Yan's Transcendence godly armor almost cracked. However, he remained unmoved. Just as these people rushed towards Su Yan, 12 short spears appeared in the space around Su Yan. Suddenly, they exploded to the extreme and turned into 12 giant spears. They flowed with a terrifying aura that could pierce through the void. It was as if they wanted to tear apart the heavens. I'll let you have a taste of the power of a killing array. Su Yan looked up to the sky and roared. His surroundings were filled with a boundless killing light. Chapter 191. A Killing Array Artifact. The Shui family elder who was about to rush over had a drastic change in expression. He recognized this killing array artifact. It had appeared at the Cosmos Business Alliance's auction and had been bought by a mysterious person in the highest private room. But how could this item be in the hands of a small cultivator? Could it be that he had a great background? It must be this killing array artifact that killed Uncle Shui Ming. Shui Long angrily said, "Quickly rush over and capture him. Don't act recklessly. This killing array artifact is extremely powerful. It can even kill law phase experts." The Shui family's doyen stopped Shui Long. His eyes were filled with shock. This young man was too savage. A large number of Alcade Hall's disciples had died, and even the inheritance disciples couldn't block the sudden explosion of the killing array artifact's power. Just like that, a large number of cultivators died, and the legacy disciples cried out one after another. Even Go Peng found it difficult to resist. This was because the killing array artifact's power was too sudden. Moreover, it had burned to its strongest state. Go Peng was beaten until his hair was disheveled and his body was covered in wounds. He spat out blood and let out a miserable cry. "You little bastard, I will not forgive you." The surrounding people trembled. The killing array artifact had completely awakened its foundation. It had to be said that this killing array artifact was extremely tyrannical. The Alcade Hall disciples were cut down like weeds. Go Peng had only barely managed to block the killing array artifact's power when he had erupted to the extreme. Little bastard. Go Peng was seething with anger. He saw Su Yan quickly collect the spoils of war and even decisively use the space-shattering array to cross the territory. Su Yan did not dare to stay here any longer. He had killed so many Alcade Hall disciples. Once news of this spread, the Alcade Hall would definitely send a large number of people to kill him. Even a Shui family elder was unable to stop the space-shattering array. He furiously chased after Su Yan, following the trail of the space-shattering array. "You blind thing. You even dare to kill my Shui family's people and offend my elder brother. Even 100 lives won't be enough for you." Shuilong's roar caused Su Yan to sneer and say, "Northern Dipper Sovereign is just a despicable person, and you, little bastard, are actually so vicious at such a young age. You will suffer retribution in the future." Su Yan's response sent chills down the spines of the onlookers. He actually dared to insult the Honorable Big Dipper. Shuilong was furious. His entire body was erupting. Although he was very young, the essence blood in his body was too exuberant. It was roiling and recovering like a furnace, shocking everyone. The younger generation felt ashamed of their inferiority. Shuilong's foundation was truly astonishing. Buzz. Su Yan sets up a dozen space-breaking formations and quickly gets away from the Shui family's elders. What should we do next? If I keep running like this, I'll definitely be caught. Since Go Peng and the others were able to find me just now, they'll definitely be able to find me again. It's too dangerous for me to stay in the wilderness. Su Yan made a prompt decision, changed his appearance, and rushed toward Marsh City. There's always a way out. Su Yan, don't believe that I won't have a foothold in Alcade City. Su Yan clenched his fists. There was no way out. His eyes were filled with ruthlessness as he prepared to play a big game. When Su Yan returned to Marsh City, the entire city was in an uproar. Alcade Hall suffered heavy casualties. Although Go Peng survived, his vitality was greatly damaged. It'll be difficult for him to recover in a few years. Moreover, more than half of Alcade Hall's legacy disciples are dead. Someone gasped and said with a trembling voice, "Although some survived by luck, they're missing limbs. The 10 great legacy disciples are equivalent to being crippled." For a moment, Marsh City was in an uproar. The news spread to Alcade City, and many Ingjia rushed over to Marsh City. This is heaven-defying. Who is this Su Yan? He grasped the killing array artifact and nearly crippled Go Peng. Only 3 of the 10 great legacy disciples from Alcade Hall survived. Their vitality was greatly damaged, and it'll be difficult for them to climb back up in the future. The entire Alcade Hall only has a few dozen legacy disciples in this generation, but half of them were crippled in an instant. This young man called Su Yin is too ruthless. The most shocking thing is that Su Yin killed Xue Ming and even imprisoned Xue Guan's divine perception for refinement. When did such a ruthless person appear in our Alcade planet's younger generation? Even this storm was caused by Su Yin. The news he released caused a bunch of old farts to come out of seclusion. Although Alcade Hall's heritage was deep, and its legacy disciples were changed every 50 years, the commotion caused by having one of the 10 great legacy disciples crippled was too great. After all, Alcade Hall was the overlord of Alcade Planet. The news flew out as though it had grown wings. The name Su Yin shook the world, and it was comparable to the younger generation's prodigies. How interesting. In the Cosmos Business Alliance, Zi Xiaoning laughed in surprise when she heard the news. I wonder what kind of enmity he has with Shueguan. This kid is audacious. The black-robed man laughed in spite of himself. Unfortunately, his cultivation is too low. Shueguan won't let him off easily. Han Tong will once again try to divine Su Yan's whereabouts. Miss, you even invited him to carry out a mission. I think this kid is already very lucky to be able to safely wait until the Star Tomb opens. Little Dragon King found it hard to believe. He didn't expect Su Yin to be the real culprit behind the scenes. He was already famous enough, but all he attracted was the killing intent of Alcade Hall and the Xue family. Alcade Hall was already furious and sent a large number of experts to Marsh City. Even the Xue family was furious and sent a group of people to attack Marsh City. All of a sudden, Marsh City's younger generation gathered and offered a reward. As long as anyone could provide clues about Su Yin, they would be rewarded with 300,000 Origin Essence Stones. This was a huge amount of wealth. Even the Xue family offered a reward, which was even more than the Alcade Hall's reward. Su Yin quickly swept through all the major stores. His harvest was not small. The Alcade Hall's legacy disciple had a batch of good items. Su Yin obtained quite a number of Origin Essence Stones and some precious ores. He threw out a large sum of money and began to purchase large quantities of precious ores. In addition to the batch of ores that Su Yin obtained at the auction, the value was quite high. It wasn't a small sum when added together. Young master, are you sure you want to buy this? The people in this store were shocked. Su Yin wanted to buy a void array platform. This was a small void array platform. Although it was a one-time use array platform, it was worth 8 kilograms of Heaven Essence Stones. It wasn't a small sum. I'll buy it. Su Yin gritted his teeth. The void-shattering array couldn't be compared to the small void array platform. This kind of small void array platform could allow one to traverse the void. I'll hide here. I don't believe he can calculate my precise location. Give me some time, and I'll make you suffer. Su Yin quickly headed to a popular cultivation shop in Marsh City and rented the strongest cultivation shop. He was even worried and set up all kinds of formation marks inside, sealing the entire cultivation room tightly. When I step into the sixth heaven of the Saint Gate realm, I'll open the sixth Daesong Gate. My combat strength will increase again. Su Yin took out the Heaven's Essence Stone and absorbed the divine power contained within it. Using such a treasure, his cultivation speed was too fast, making tremendous progress in a day. Surging Origin Essence Qi gathered in Su Yan's limbs and bones, penetrating into his life spring. He was trying his best to break through to the sixth heaven of the Saint Gate realm. At the same time, Su Yan's primordial spirit flew out. Holding the origin brush, he started a large-scale project. Once the Heavenly Dragon Array is copied, I'll borrow the Qi of the Small Dragon Vein to construct a super powerful array. Even Transcendence Realm experts have a high chance of being killed. One had to know that Array Dao could kill with arrays. However, it was different when the mystical sect masters mastered Array Dao. Su Yin was now a third-grade quasi-mystical sect master. Once he evolved the Heavenly Dragon Array, he could borrow the power of the Heavenly Dragon Array to erupt with Qi of the Dragon Vein. That would be the true strength. However, the price was too high. Not only did it require ores, but it also required a large number of origin essence stones to activate the heavenly dragon array. Days passed, and Suyin seemed to have evaporated into thin air. The Shui family and Alcade Hall were even more furious. They started to increase the reward, especially when the Shui family took out a set of Transcendence divine weapons. These rewards were too shocking. Some factions were searching for Su Yan's whereabouts, but they couldn't find any trace of Su Yan. Big news. Someone couldn't hold back and attacked Shui Guan. On this day, Alcade City was in turmoil. 3 mighty lords joined forces to attack Shui Guan's location. Fortunately, Alcade City was strong enough. Otherwise, the entire city would have been overturned. Some people saw the 2 chaos treasures awaken, their power shocking the heavens and earth. Strands of chaos fog soared into the sky. Some people even saw the stars in outer space shatter. These were chaos treasures. They were terrifying to the extreme. Once they awakened, even a mighty lord like Alcade Hall Master would be killed. The sky has been pierced, and some stars have fallen. The chaos treasure's power is too terrifying. The Big Dipper Sovereign is still the strongest. With 2 chaos treasures protecting him, the older generation can only watch helplessly. The Big Dipper Sovereign hasn't uttered a word. It seems like Shui Guan has quite a few king medicines. He has already sold one to Han Tong's master. No wonder Han Tong's master took action. I heard Han Tong has been divining Su Yan's whereabouts day and night. It's very difficult to sense his exact location, but he can lock on to him in the vicinity of Marsh City. Alcade Planet had signs of an impending storm, especially news from the Savage Mountain Forest. The Star Tomb was shaking day and night. It was definitely close to opening. You guys only know how to deal with my brother. When the Star Tomb opens and the Big Dipper Star appears, I'll see who can stand out to deal with the geniuses from outer space. When the time comes, the Big Dipper Star region will lose a lot of face. It will be so shameful that it will be thrown into the universe. Shualong was indignant, but he also felt the stakes. The incoming mighty lords were too shocking. They secretly held chaos treasures and couldn't see through their origins. And the trash hiding in Marsh City. How long can you hide? Shualong appeared in Marsh City and said coldly, "The entire 1,000-mile radius of Marsh City has been trapped. How long can you hide? I don't believe you'll hide in Marsh City for the rest of your life." Princess Alcade arrived in her jade war chariot. She was arrogant as she waved her silver whip and said disdainfully, "You even dare to provoke Brother Shui Guan. You're courting death. Su Yan, go ahead and hide." Unfortunately, you can't hide anymore. The 1,000-mile radius has been locked down. Let's see where you can escape to. Find him even if you have to dig 3 feet into the ground. Princess Yao Wang's notoriety was not small. Her words caused the entire street to become silent. No one dared to provoke this rude and unreasonable princess. Princess Alcade hadn't forgotten how she made a fool of herself. Now that she had confirmed that this person was Su Yan, she was gnashing her teeth in hatred. Oh no, they brought a cardinal treasure. Tai Baokai was mixed in the crowd and noticed that the void array in Marsh City had been activated. 3 figures with astonishing auras crossed the void and arrived in Marsh City. All of a sudden, Marsh City was in turmoil. The 3 great prodigies had actually come together. Great Sun Alcade was like a starry sky, divine furnace. He was majestic and awe-inspiring. Great Sun Alcade's entire body radiated the divine light of the sun. The chi and blood in his body were flourishing as he bathed in the golden divine radiance. This was a golden god with a cold expression. Han Tong was the eldest senior brother of the Big Dipper Hall. His aura was very calm, and one couldn't tell how strong he was. However, the mirror he wielded was very terrifying. It scattered down divine light that pierced through the void. The starry sky mirror of the Big Dipper Hall is a Tao weapon that the Big Dipper Hall's Grand Elder had. It can pierce through the void. Han Tong actually brought the starry sky mirror. It seems like he's prepared to capture Su Yan. It's rumored that the starry sky mirror can see through illusions. Han Tong was very confident, but Shualong was still a little worried. Great Sun Alcade smiled. Sky Dragon, don't worry. Since our eldest senior brother has made his move, we'll find this person in 3 to 5 days. Go on, find him. I'll make your faces turn green. Su Yin had worked day and night to copy the Heavenly Dragon Array, and he was halfway done. Chapter 192. In the cultivation room, this piece of Heaven's essence stone was almost completely refined by Su Yin. Inside his treasure body, there was an abundance of divine energy. The energy contained in the Heaven's essence stone was extremely shocking. Strands of energy penetrated into Su Yan's life spring, allowing his life spring to accumulate a vast amount of divine energy and contain a vast amount of life energy. The sixth sacred gate was faintly discernible. Once one stepped into the sixth firmament of the Tao Gate realm, their combat strength would be more than double that of the fifth firmament. Especially the sacred gate that Su Yin opened, its combat strength would be even more terrifying. Once the sixth Daesong gate appeared, the divine power in Su Yan's body would undergo an earth-shattering change. After continuously absorbing for half a day, the divine power contained in this piece of Heaven's essence stone was completely exhausted. Su Yan's body shone brightly as the sixth sacred gate was instantly awakened. It was dazzling, as if a sacred gate spring had opened. In an instant, all sorts of primordial phenomena appeared within the sacred gate space. The moment the gate opened, the surging essence crashed into the secret cultivation room, causing it to tremble. The commotion caused by Su Yan's breakthrough was too great. The 6 Daesong gates appeared in the sky like 6 blazing suns. The divine power that fell from between them contained the vigorous essence of heaven and earth. Boom! Even the 6 Daesong gates seemed to fuse into one. Su Yan's body was filled with ferocious waves. The vigorous divine power was like a roaring river, intertwining with the light of the rules. It was dazzling. 6th firmament of the Tao Gate realm. Su Yan's eyes suddenly opened. The essence energy in his body surged. He smiled. He felt that with his 6th firmament sacred gate power, he should be able to resist the power of the divine power. They are so fast. I don't have much time left. Su Yan stood at the door and looked into the distance. He realized that Yao Guang and the other 2 were about to complete their search of the entire wilderness. He hurried back and copied the remaining traces of the Heavenly Dragon Array. He estimated that he would be able to complete it in 2 or 3 days. Marsh City was in a turbulent situation. Geniuses of the younger generation gathered. All sorts of geniuses were paying attention to how this matter would end. It was bustling outside the city. The starry sky treasure mirror in Han Tong's hands was like a void god realm. The surface of the mirror flowed with starlight, sending down strands of starry sky ripples that illuminated the territories. The galaxy treasure mirror was very strong, and no falsehood could escape its detection. It had been an entire day, and the wilderness had been searched clean. The result made Princess Yao Guang scream. What a daring Su Yan. He actually hid in Marsh City. Did he eat the guts of a god? Big brother Han Tong, quickly find him. I can't wait to see him kneel in Brilliant City and repent. Shuelong was young, but he had a very bad temper. His face was ashen. Su Yan had caused such a huge disaster, yet he still dared to hide in Marsh City. This made Shuelong flustered and exasperated. A tinge of anger flashed across Yao Guang's face. All the ancient cities in Yao Guang City, big and small, were basically under their control. He really hadn't expected that Su Yan would choose to hide in Marsh City. Things had exceeded his expectations. Don't worry, a small ant can escape from the palm of my hand. Han Tong was very confident. He was skilled in the Tao of divination and was known as the little divine mathematician. He was very confident in finding a small cultivator. Brat, you're on your own. We'll catch you soon. Tai Baokai mixed in with the wild beasts and kept watching. He figured out why Su Yan chose to stay in Marsh City. Marsh City had a small dragon vein. Su Yan was, after all, a strange person. If he could really control the power of the small dragon vein, then it would be shocking. Yao Guang and the rest would be at a great disadvantage. They're searching Marsh City. The result made the faces of the cultivators in the city turn green. This was because Han Tong was extremely powerful. He directly projected the power of the Galaxy Treasure Mirror and scattered it on the first street of Marsh City. Some people were incomparably furious, but they didn't dare to make sound. After all, no one was willing to be seen through completely, and any secrets would be found out. What are you glaring at? Princess Yawang waved her silver whip and said angrily, "You are all citizens of my Yawang Hall. Can't you see that our Yawang Hall is searching for the real culprit? You still dare to glare? Be careful not to cause a disaster. Behave yourselves. If you dare to make the slightest move, I'll kill you without mercy." Shuelong was full of confidence. He took out a great killing weapon and had the demeanor of a peerless expert. His gaze was fixed on the people on this street. If anyone dared to make a move, he would definitely act immediately. Who could afford to offend the Shui family and Yawang Hall, two colossal forces? The people of Marsh City could only curse in their hearts. They really didn't doubt that these two hedonistic disciples would kill them. This is too much. I really hope that Su Yan will come out and slap these two hedonistic disciples to death. Yes, they're openly using the Galaxy Treasure Mirror to observe everyone. Who can stand them? If they were in a bustling city, they wouldn't dare to do this even if they had a few guts. Someone said indignantly, "It's a pity that our Marsh City doesn't have Ingjia. We can only let them do whatever they want." How hateful. I really hope that Su Yan won't be caught by them. The cultivators of Marsh City dared to be angry, but didn't dare to say anything. They're getting closer and closer to me. Su Yan's movement sped up. He was sweating profusely as he continuously inscribed runes with the Genesis brush. The Heavenly Dragon array he was inscribing this time required over 100 array discs. It was a huge project. Without the Genesis brush, Su Yan would have to spend at least a month or two, and the success rate wouldn't even be high. Marsh City's aura became more oppressive with every passing hour. "This trash can't even dodge this." Yawang Hall's expression was indifferent as he clasped his hands behind his back. He had seen Su Yan once and had a deep impression of Su Yan. After all, Su Yan had made him lose face in front of the young Dragon King. I reckon that this trash is currently panicking and hiding everywhere. Even if he can hide, where can he hide? In another day, we'll be able to search the entire Marsh City. Princess Yawang said ferociously, "Su Yan, if you don't come out now, you'll have to suffer. If you kneel here now, you'll suffer less." It's too late. Even if he kneels here and kowtows, we can't let him off so easily. Shuelong said with a cruel expression, "Trash, let's see how long you can endure." No wonder he's so awesome. So he's Shueguan's younger brother. Tai Baokai stood up and stared at Shuelong with its panda eyes. It felt warm in its heart as it muttered, "The essence blood in his body is so vigorous at such a young age. God knows how many good things this brat has eaten. This beast god has observed that his body is bursting with treasure radiance, so he must have a lot of treasures on him. He even has the power of the great Tao concealing his body. He definitely has a Tao weapon on him." Tai Baokai didn't dare to provoke Shueguan now, but it was very concerned about Shuelong. It had been following behind them, waiting for an opportunity to strike. This is the last street. This was the most popular street in the city, and there were many cultivators with powerful backgrounds on this street. They immediately stood up and refused to let Han Tong use the Starry Sky Treasure Mirror on them. Princess Yawang said, "Fellow cultivators, please remain calm. The real culprit must be detained. Shueguan is still waiting for news in Yawang City." Princess Yawang mentioned Shueguan directly, causing these people's faces to turn black. They really didn't dare to offend Supreme North Star. "Wait for me to search the other places. Maybe I'll find him. If he really isn't here, Su Yan is mixed in with your crowd." Han Tong took out the Galaxy Treasure Mirror and started to search the area. His words were very clear. If he really couldn't find him, he would forcefully see their true faces. For a moment, these people's faces turned green, but they didn't dare to say anything. After searching for a while, Han Tong frowned slightly. The Galaxy Treasure Mirror was shining on a cultivation shop, but when the mirror shone on one of the cultivation rooms, the image was a little blurry. Could he be here? Han Tong sneered. The galaxy treasure mirror burned even brighter. The surface of the mirror was filled with the aura of the stars. The mirror's surface was very shocking, and the light that shone down illuminated the cultivation room. Suddenly, the blurry aura in the cultivation room became clear. The mirror even reflected a white-clothed youth who was sitting cross-legged in the cultivation room. It's him. I would recognize him even if he turned to ashes. Princess Yao Guang was overjoyed. I finally found him. This trash was actually hiding here. He actually has the mind to cultivate here. What a surprise. Trash, get your ass out here and submit to the law. Shuelong couldn't help but roar. His entire body shone with divine light. There were at least 5 or 6 treasures shining in his body. The aura emitted from his body hit the cultivation room that was covered in layers of array marks. The cultivation room automatically lit up to resist. Princess Yao Guang shook his head. He pointed with his finger, and the entire cultivation room rumbled. The layers of array marks were cut apart by the divine light from his fingertip. Just like that, a large crack was forcefully opened in the cultivation room. Heavens, he's really here. The entire Marsh City was in an uproar. They all saw Su Yin sitting cross-legged in the cultivation room. He was actually still meditating. Could it be that he didn't know anything about what was happening outside? Seeing this scene, Tai Baotsai's mind was set. He secretly took out the bronze cauldron and prepared to find an opportunity to kidnap Shuelong. Shuelong and the others wanted to see Su Yan's wonderful expression. Unfortunately, Su Yan's face didn't have any ripples. He opened his eyes and looked at these people. He smiled faintly. I didn't expect so many acquaintances to come. What kind of auspicious day is today? What are you all doing here? Today is naturally your auspicious day. Princess Yao Guang said eerily, Trash, you're so calm. Are you already prepared to commit suicide? Commit suicide? It's impossible for him to commit suicide. Shuelong smiled coldly. I'm living well. Why would I commit suicide? Su Yin stood up and shrugged his shoulders, looking indifferent. You guys, on the other hand, use your power to oppress others and put on airs to search Marsh City. I wonder how many times your 18 generations of ancestors have been greeted. These words made everyone in Marsh City roar in their hearts and applaud. Hero, you've said what I wanted to say. Go on your way in peace. I'll burn some paper for you. Some people thought as they prepared to secretly worship Su Yin. Bastard, I'll tear your mouth apart. Princess Yao Guang was the first to rush up. She drove the Emerald War Chariot and wanted to directly kill Su Yin here. Boom! Su Yin took out his celestial body at lightning speed. The celestial body erupted with thousands of galaxies, rumbling and revealing a vast starry sky aura. Supreme-grade celestial body. Tai Baokai suddenly roared. Princess Yao Guang and the rest were also overwhelmed with emotions. They rushed towards the cultivation room, wanting to snatch away Su Yan's natal cauldron. Han Tong frowned and wanted to stop them, but it was too late. Under the temptation of a supreme-grade celestial body, Princess Yao Guang and the rest couldn't resist rushing in. The value of supreme-grade celestial bodies was shocking, much more terrifying than a Dao weapon. In an instant, the entire secret cultivation room exploded from the pressure of the cultivators who had stepped in. The eyes of Great Sun Yao Guang and the others turned red. One after another, large hands grabbed towards the life cauldron that Su Yin had summoned. Open the formation. Su Yin stepped into the sky. Hundreds of formation discs burned at the same time. Their auras merged into one, filling the air with terrifying airflow that shattered the clouds. It made the entire Marsh City tremble as thousands of layers of earth vein chi emerged. This was the scene of hundreds of rivers flowing into the sea. Chapter 193. Boom! A deafening explosion reverberated throughout Marsh City. Suddenly, beams of resplendent light soared up from the bustling Marsh City. Hundreds of resplendent lights pierced through the clouds. The entire cultivation shop could not withstand the power of the Heavenly Dragon Array's activation. It completely disintegrated and turned into ruins. This was the highest standard cultivation ground in Marsh City and also the head of the small dragon veins. It originally contained powerful dragon vein energy, and now that it had sunk, it emitted millions of layers of dragon vein energy. Su Yin even took out countless origin essence stones and combined them with the heavenly dragon array's eruption, causing a corner of Marsh City to erupt with a monstrous divine light that illuminated the starry sky. It was a shocking scene. The entire Marsh City was rumbling. The moment the heavenly dragon array awakened, the power of hundreds of arrayed discs combined into one, spreading out a vast ocean-like power that pierced through the sky. Rumble! The entire street sunk. Endless earth vein energy awakened, turning into rolling, killing lights that rampaged in the sky and earth. Accompanied by the phantoms of heavenly dragons, intertwined with the power of the killing array, it began to operate here. The surrounding people were dumbfounded. A super array was activated here, and even the power of the small dragon veins was activated. It could be said that a great figure was awakening here, erupting with terrifying divine power. Bam! The first to rush in was Princess Yao Guang. The emerald chariot she was driving exploded on the spot. Princess Yao Guang was paralyzed with fear, her eyes filled with fear, and her entire body was cold. Not good. Prince Yao Guang's expression changed. His aura penetrated the heavens and earth. It could be said that a starry sky, divine furnace was burning here. His entire body erupted with a terrifying aura, trying to push open the power of the heavenly dragon array. Even his palms covered the sky as they struck out towards Su Yin. Because Su Yin was rushing towards Princess Yao Guang, his eyes were cold. Millions of layers of dragon vein energy surged out from his body, its power shocking the heavens and earth. "Brat, send me in," Tai Baokai screamed. The heavenly dragon array was self-contained, extracting dragon vein energy as it operated. The entire heavenly dragon array was like 100,000 mountains collapsing, making everyone feel as if they were struck by lightning. Even people as strong as Yao Guang and the others were facing immense pressure and found it extremely difficult to break free, let alone protect the others. "What are you doing?" Princess Yao Guang was so scared that she almost peed in her pants. Goosebumps appeared all over her body. At this moment, Su Yin was too terrifying. He was like a demon king. Her dragon vein energy surged out and blocked Great Sun Yao Guang's palm. Bang! Su Yin slapped Princess Yao Guang to the point that she was about to shatter into pieces. However, she had a protective artifact on her body that resisted Su Yan's abnormal strength. However, this slap also shattered her artifact. Princess Yao Guang was sent flying, her body cracked. "Bastard! Yao Guang Great Son, Kaiyang Great Son, Shui Family Elder." The power of the three powerhouses was shocking. They were like three giant pillars that held up the sky, resisting the killing power of the heavenly dragon formation. Their expressions were furious. They wanted to break free, but the heavenly dragon formation had activated the chi of the dragon veins. It could be said that the divine might of the great figures was surging out. "Stop! If you dare to kill him, there will be no place for you to hide in the Big Dipper starfield." Great Son Yao Guang roared angrily. He exploded with an extremely terrifying aura, wanting to open the heavenly dragon formation. Other than a few transcendent realm cultivators who could barely endure, the rest of the cultivators died in large numbers. They exploded into a bloody mist and died in the heavenly dragon formation. The entire heavenly dragon formation was dyed red with blood. Princess Yao Guang was screaming in pain. Her hair was disheveled, and her face was bruised and swollen. "Do you really think that I, Su Yin, can be bullied and called a trash fish?" Su Yin was cold. He walked step by step towards Princess Yao Guang and said majestically, "You are not even a trash fish." "No." Princess Yao Guang was terrified. Her scalp was numb, and her body was covered in blood. She no longer had a domineering attitude. She almost knelt here and kowtowed to admit her mistake. "Go repent in the underworld." Su Yan's palm struck. Countless chi of the earth veins erupted with him. He was like an angry dragon. He charged forward and kicked Princess Yao Guang away. No! Princess Yao Guang's miserable voice reverberated. Everyone in Marsh City was dumbfounded. Princess Yao Guang was kicked to death by Su Yan. Bastard! Yao Guang was furious. His hair danced in the wind. His entire body was completely unsealed. The moment his divine aura erupted, it shook the heavens and the earth. Even the heavenly dragon formation was shaking slightly. At this moment, Mizar and the rest tried their best to recover to the extreme. They were like giant golden pillars that emitted a shocking source of energy. The entire heavenly dragon formation almost exploded. The energy absorption is almost done. The moment Su Yan's voice was heard, Yao Guang and the rest had a bad feeling. The entire heavenly dragon formation suddenly surged with a terrifying source of energy. The moment the huge heavenly dragon formation sucked, the entire Marsh City was as black as ink. What kind of shocking method was this? All the chi of the dragon veins had been sucked clean. Boom! Lightning flashed, and thunder rumbled in the heavenly dragon formation. The chi of the dragon veins brewed a monstrous killing intent. Heaven and earth turned blood red, emitting an aura that could shatter the sky and split the sea. Puffed. A large number of cultivators fell like grass. It was very difficult for them to withstand the killing intent of the heavenly dragon formation. This place turned into a blood-red purgatory. Layer after layer of blood-red afterimages swept across the surroundings. The three experts felt as if they had been struck by lightning. They coughed up blood as they encountered a killing intent that could destroy everything. This was the chi of the dragon veins. It was extremely domineering. Layer after layer gushed out. Even Dharma characteristic experts found it difficult to withstand. In order to open the formation, Su Yan had used up countless origin essence stones. He had almost used up everything. Dharma characteristic experts could naturally be trapped. The main reason was that the power of the dragon veins was strong. Once the heavenly dragon formation collapsed, the dragon veins foundation would be greatly damaged. In the next moment, the Shui family elder almost wet his pants. A black and white panda came out of nowhere and raised its claws to attack Shuelong. However, Shuelong was extraordinary. All kinds of divine weapons hidden in his body erupted and blocked the Tai Baotsai's power. How dare you? How dare you target me? Shuelong laughed angrily. This killing formation is very strong, but it's impossible to kill me. When the heavenly dragon formation's divine power dissipates, I'll see what else you have left. Damn you, I'll beat you to death. The Tai Baokai was furious. It took out the nine-dragon sword and slashed at Shuelong. Shuelong's expression changed. The nine dragons' sword merged into a terrifying sword embryo that could split the sky. The Tai Baokai swung it and slashed at Shuelong. Bastard, stop! The Shui family elder was furious. A terrifying Dao aura was born in his body. After all, he was Shuelong's guardian. Shui Guan had specially given him a Dao weapon to protect Shuelong's safety. How dare you? Mizar Juzi and the other two were also furious. If Shuelonghua died here, they would not be able to escape the blame. Mizar Juzi took out a divine cauldron, while Yaoguang Juzi took out a stellar sword. The two supreme treasures were filled with Dao aura. It was extremely terrifying and could cause the entire heavenly dragon formation to disintegrate. Ong, ong, ong. Su Yan soared into the sky. His long black hair danced in the wind. The array Dao aura from his body stirred up the vast chi of dragon veins in the heavenly dragon formation. In an instant, thousands of essence chi dragons soared into the sky around Su Yan, pushing his aura into the sky. Mystical cultivator. All the cultivators in Marsh City were in an uproar. In a corner of Marsh City, divine light pierced through the clouds and shot into the sky. At this moment, Su Yan was extremely powerful. Countless chi of dragon veins surged out with him, piercing through the sky. He was like a god of war in the starry sky, filled with a monstrous aura. Kill! Su Yan roared and took out the stellar pagoda. He used the chi of dragon veins to conceal the stellar pagoda's body and awaken the power of Bamboo Moon's Tao within the stellar pagoda. At this moment, the entire heavenly dragon formation was used by Su Yan. He became one with the dragon veins, and the divine energy in his body was vigorous to the extreme. He had unparalleled combat strength that could topple mountains and overturn seas. Rumble. Under the incredulous gazes of everyone in Marsh City, Su Yin could be called a young god of war. He struck out with a mysterious Tao weapon, causing the three powerful cultivators to tremble. They were about to be suppressed by the stellar pagoda. Mystical cultivator. Su Yin is actually a mystical cultivator. Young Dragon King was shocked. Su Yin had completely grasped the power of Marsh City's dragon veins. At this moment, his divine energy was like a vast ocean. Young Dragon King was shocked. Su Yin was too shocking. The divine energy in his body was like a vast ocean of dragon veins, comparable to the energy in the body of an important figure. His magic power was monstrous. The divine energy was like a sea, illuminating the sky. He used the power of the stellar pagoda to suppress the three powerful cultivators. It had to be said that the treasure that Bamboo Moon left for him was tyrannical. The power of the great Tao that erupted from it made the three great Tao weapons controlled by Yao Guang and the rest wail. Although they had a great background, what was a Tao weapon? It was impossible for them to control a Tao weapon that was too powerful. Kid, lend me a hand. First, dig out the treasure in his body. I can feel the aura of a rare treasure. Tai Baokai was extremely anxious. Shuelong's body was covered in a radiant glow that even contained boundless Tao power. It was extremely difficult for the Nine Dragons' treasured sword to split open. You guys are in big trouble. My brother will be here soon. Wait for your deaths. Shuelong was furious. He knew very well that he had the great Tao Pearl protecting him. Even a Transcendence Realm cultivator would find it difficult to harm a single strand of his hair. Rumble. At this moment, the stellar pagoda that was suspended in the sky rumbled. Thousands of starlight beams that contained the power of the great Tao rained down, covering the entire starry sky and manifesting all sorts of blurry cosmic stars. Stop! The Shui family elder roared. His eyes were bleeding. He saw that a corner of Shuelong's protective light had been crushed. The aura of the stellar pagoda made Shuelong feel like he was about to explode. Ah! Shuelong screamed. His whole body was covered in blood. The bones in his body were all broken. He let out a terrified cry. At this moment, he was about to be destroyed in body and soul by the stellar pagoda. Ha ha! This beast deity is rich. Tai Baokai grinned happily. He pulled out one treasure after another from Shuelong's life spring. Chapter 194. This is a rare occurrence in 100 years. Great Sun Mizar and Great Sun Yao Guang, two young prodigies, are being suppressed by a small cultivator. There's also an elder from the Shui family. They have three great Tao weapons, but they are being suppressed. Marsh City was in an uproar. Two young prodigies and an elder from the Shui family. They had a Tao weapon, but they couldn't break open the heavenly dragon formation. Anyone could see that the mysterious divine Tao weapon Su Yin had was peerless. It was suppressing the three great Tao weapons on top of the heavenly dragon formation. It was definitely a top-notch Tao weapon. Ha ha ha! Su Yin laughed heartily. His magic power was now overwhelming. The strength of the divine power in the body of a great figure had completely awakened the star pagoda, evolving the supreme power of the great path of the Bamboo Moon. When the three great Tao divine weapons were wailing, there was a tendency for them to be suppressed. The three experts were furious. Shuelong's protective divine light had been split open. If Shuelong died here, they would be in big trouble. By then, they would lose all their face. You must not kill him. Little Dragon King transmitted his voice. Once you kill Shuelong, things will get serious. The Yao Guang Hall can't be compared to the Shui family. You must not kill him. Su Yin and Tai Baokai both understood that Shui Guan was suspected to be the inheritance of a mighty figure. If he went crazy and took out the king of medicine as a reward, there would definitely be old monsters chasing them all over the world. Unless there was no other choice, Shui Long couldn't be eliminated now. My dear mother, look, there are too many treasures in Shui Long's life spring. The surrounding cultivators were all envious. Comparisons were odious. We're rich. Tai Baokai grinned excitedly and took out treasures after treasures from Shui Long's life spring. They were all shining and dazzling, containing abundant divine energy. More than a dozen treasures were taken out from his life spring. Their value was immeasurable. As the brother of the Big Dipper supremacy, it would be strange if he wasn't rich. What is this? In the next moment, the item that Tai Baokai pulled out with all his might moved Mizar Juzi and the rest. Shui Long's life spring had a very strong Dao aura. It was a pearl that was manifesting on its own, emitting the power of Dao to guard Shui Long's life spring. Little bastard, if you don't release the thing, I will cut off your head. Tai Baokai roared in exasperation. Kick it like a urinal. If you kill me, you will tie Bao-Tsai's life. Shui Long clenched his teeth and roared. He had begged Shui Guan for a long time before Shui Guan agreed to give him this treasure. This treasure had been of great help to Shui Guan when he was young. Rumble. A cold light flashed in Su Yan's eyes. The star pagoda in his hand blazed once again, illuminating the starry sky. This pagoda was terrifying beyond compare. It was overflowing with starlight, and there were terrifying cosmic stars floating inside. It was intertwined with the power of Dao and was about to collapse the outer realm. After I kill you, we will head to other star domains. What can your brother do to me? Su Yan's voice spread throughout the entire Marsh City, sending chills down everyone's spines. They could feel the killing intent, and they didn't doubt that Su Yan would kill Shui Long. The aura emitted by the star pagoda was enough to collapse the outer realm, causing Shui Long's soul to tremble. Let's go. The void formation's waves are getting more and more shocking. There must be a big shot coming. Little Dragon King transmitted a message secretly. Let's go, a big shot is coming. Su Yan's eyes were vertical, and killing intent shot out in all directions. The star pagoda emitted waves that could annihilate divine souls and pressured Shui Long. I'll give it to you. Shui Long was completely terrified. A pearl flew out from his life spring. It was colorful and overflowing with auspicious clouds. It automatically chanted the sound of Dao, causing the sun, moon, and stars to resonate. Great Dao Pearl. Mizar Juzi and the others were furious, and their eyes were burning with greed. This was the legendary Great Dao Pearl, a rare treasure that could help one comprehend the Dao. It was an extremely precious treasure, and its value was even more shocking than the primitive treasure liquid. After all, the primitive treasure liquid was a one-time use item, but the Great Dao Pearl was different. The Great Dao Pearl could allow a family to rise. After all, it could be passed down generation after generation, allowing a family to prosper. Ah, the Shui family elder screamed. He recognized this treasure. Shui Guan obtained a Great Dao Pearl during his first trip to his supreme power's inheritance ground. This Great Dao Pearl was worn by Shui Guan every day. Shui Guan's current achievements were largely related to the Great Dao Pearl. After all, it could help one comprehend the Dao. If it wasn't for Shui Guan, he wouldn't have touched upon the Great Dao so quickly. However, he didn't expect that the Great Dao Pearl would be in Shui Long's possession. This item was a clan-guarding treasure. Even superpowers would fight over it. This beast god is rich. Tai Baokai was so excited that his eyes turned red. He immediately recognized the arrival of the Great Dao Pearl. He immediately took out the bronze cauldron and placed the Great Dao Pearl inside, sealing the Great Dao Pearl's aura. Rumble. Suddenly, the void array in Marsh City shone brightly. A vast void aura gushed out, accompanied by a terrifying aura. It contained all sorts of incredible Great Dao auras. The big shots are here. Su Yan and Tai Baokai looked at each other and quickly gathered. Su Yan took out the void array platform and directly activated it. Stay here. Mizar Juzi and the others were furious. They used all their strength to break free from the Heavenly Dragon Array and the Stellar Pagoda's pressure. However, no matter how powerful they couldn't break free from the array. When the Lesser Void Array activated, Su Yin and Tai Baokai jumped in and took the Stellar Pagoda that was suspended above the Heavenly Dragon Array. Dong! The Heavenly Dragon Array trembled violently. The three great Tao weapons instantly awakened and swept out in all directions, distorting the entire Heavenly Dragon Array. Without Su Yan's control, the Heavenly Dragon Array couldn't suppress them for a while. At this moment, the big shot from the Shui family arrived. His angry roar shook the entire Marsh City. The distorted Heavenly Dragon Array also collapsed. Heavenly Dragon, who did this? When the big shot from the Shui family saw Shui Long's miserable state, he roared into the sky. His hair fluttered in the wind, and his roar shook the entire sky. The stars in the outer realm also moved and shook. An unparalleled great Tao aura swept out in all directions. This was the fury of a big shot. Everything within 100,000 miles was on the verge of sinking. The entire Marsh City was filled with large cracks. When the big shot was enraged, a phenomenon of millions of corpses appeared in the sky. His eyes were ferocious as he looked at the shattered Lesser Void Array. Without any hesitation, he followed the void fluctuations and started to chase after Su Yin and Tai Baokai. Mizar Juzi and the other two prodigies were also enraged. They took out their war chariots and started to chase after them. For a time, Marsh City was shaken continuously. Some important figures had used the Void Array to cross over here. After learning about what had happened here, their expressions changed. One of Shui Long's great Tao pearls had been snatched away, and Princess Yawang had been kicked to death by Su Yin. The news flew out as if it had grown wings and spread throughout the vast rivers and mountains. It's a great Tao pearl. This treasure is confirmed. The Shui family actually had a great Tao pearl, but it was stolen by Su Yin. This is intolerable. This is a great Tao pearl. It said that the Big Dipper Palace Hall has one, but there's only one. It's a rare treasure. It was stolen just like that. Wouldn't Shueguan vomit blood? This was a violent storm that swept across Alcade Planet. The value of the great Tao pearl was too precious. It was of great help to any prodigy. After all, with the great Tao pearl, one's chances of comprehending the power of the great Tao would increase by 30%. This was already a number that could make people go crazy. Its value was even more shocking than a drop of primitive elixir. Thinking about the auction price of primitive elixir, more than 5,000 kilograms of Heaven's Essence stone wouldn't be enough to buy it. Then how much was the great Tao pearl worth? Su Yan's name shook the world overnight. Mizar Juzi and the other two prodigies were all stunned. He became a famous figure on Alcade Planet. It wouldn't take long for his name to spread throughout the Big Dipper Star region. Two prodigies were suppressed by a small cultivator and watched as Shui Long's great Tao pearl was stolen. Su Yan, although he's just a small cultivator, he's a special cultivator. He controlled the Marsh City's dragon vein and suppressed the three Transcendence realm experts. After that, the Marsh City's dragon vein's power plummeted. It lost 30% to 40% of its energy. It won't be able to recover without 100 years. Who is Su Yan? What sect is he from? What are his origins? The news spread throughout Alcade Planet. This matter was of great importance. Although there were important figures from the Shui family chasing after him, the Void Array had already set off. They would definitely be able to cross to a distant region. A person who appeared out of thin air and did such a sky-piercing thing attracted a lot of attention. It was said that Shueguan's fury had covered the entire Alcade City. If it wasn't for the old bastard secretly watching him, he would have killed his way out long ago. The Shui family and Alcade Hall sent out large numbers of experts. Some other powers also joined in, wanting to take away the great Tao pearl. Alcade Planet was surging with winds and clouds. All the powers were nervously paying attention. Kiki, let that old bastard chase. Waves rose up from an underground river. Su Yin and the Tai Baokai fell down halfway. They entered the bronze cauldron and the incomplete cauldron concealed their auras. However, the Shui family's important figures were still chasing after them through the void array. This treasure can conceal my aura. This way, they won't be able to deduce my whereabouts. Su Yan's mind calmed down. He then saw the Tai Baokai, excitedly counting all kinds of treasures. Su Yan's eyes were sharp. He noticed a bracelet with resplendent pearls. Every pearl was full of essence and sprinkled with divine splendor. Su Yan quickly grabbed the pearl in his hand. The Tai Baokai was anxious. "Brat, did you want this thing? Didn't you see a group of baldies engraved on the pearl? Give it to me quickly." Buzz. Su Yan's primordial spirit glowed brilliantly. As the Sutra of Future circulated, Su Yan's primordial spirit blossomed with Buddhist light. He was chanting Sanskrit in a sacred and dignified manner. "What scripture is this?" The Tai Baokai shrieked. He could vaguely see Su Yan's primordial spirit sitting cross-legged in the future, in a space-time that was difficult to touch. This was definitely a supreme, ancient heavenly art. The moment Su Yan chanted the Sutra of Future, the bracelet glowed on its own. The 9 pearls awakened one after another, emitting a vast spirit fluctuation. In fact, the Buddhas engraved on each pearl seemed to have transformed into eminent monks of the Buddhist sections. They were sacred and dignified. Buzz! The moment the secret treasure of the Buddhist sects erupted, the 9 pearls rumbled and spun. They were like 9 sariras, spreading a vast Buddhist nature. Secret treasure of the Buddhist sects. The Tai Baotsai's eyes widened. Su Yan was shocked. The secret treasure of the Buddhist sects was worn on his primordial spirit's wrist. This is an essence spirit secret treasure. With such a secret treasure, even the primordial spirits of void reversion realm cultivators will find it difficult to hurt me. Su Yan was pleasantly surprised. This item was too rare and extremely valuable. Although it was not a Dao weapon, its value was not much inferior to a Dao weapon. Chapter 195. More than 10 treasures were taken out from Shuelong's life spring. Most of them were defensive treasures that could withstand attacks from Transcendence Realm cultivators. Tai Baokai clenched its teeth. Yuan Spirit's secret treasures were very rare, but couldn't control these Buddhist treasures. "I'm a pauper now. I spent all my money to set up the Heavenly Dragon Array." Su Yan picked a few more treasures. Every treasure was flowing with brilliant lights, and divine light radiated in all directions. Su Yan took all defensive treasures that could save his life at a critical moment. As long as he didn't encounter any big shots, he would be able to escape unscathed. This Shuelong is too rich. Su Yan was speechless. "Look at these items. None of them are ordinary. They're the treasures of the shop. We've made a fortune this time. If I didn't come, we wouldn't have gotten this." Tai Baotsai's life spring shone brightly as it refined many divine weapons. It grinned happily. "I've become a rich man. Most Transcendence Realm cultivators don't even have 2 or 3 Transcendence Realm weapons. You know, the only thing left on Earth is your mirror. The rest are all divine weapons." "That's right. Baokai, you secretly took off Shuelong's ring. Give it to me." Su Yan urged. Tai Baokai was unhappy. It took out the ring and said with a dark face, "The ring is mine. Since you have spatial treasures, this ring is mine. Hurry up. Let's see how many treasures are in Shuelong's ring." Su Yan urged. Tai Baokai reluctantly opened the interspatial ring, and a bunch of things fell out. Su Yan and Tai Baokai were stunned. They both sucked in a breath of cold air. The things inside the interspatial ring made their eyes light up. First of all, there were more than 50 kilograms of Heaven's Essence Stones. This was already a huge fortune. There were dozens of bottles of various elixirs. Su Yan opened some of the bottles and found that they were all grade 4 or 5 elixirs. They were very beneficial for cultivation, and most of them were elixirs to strengthen the body. True Dragon Blood. Tai Baokai was excited. They found 2 full jars of true dragon blood inside, which made Su Yan almost laugh. He didn't expect that the items he took out for the auction would now return to his hands. "Don't try to snatch it from me." Tai Baokai grinned and said, "Your physical body is already strong enough. The true dragon blood is mine." No problem. The true dragon's blood is yours, and the Heaven's Essence Stones are mine. I urgently need the Heaven's Essence Stones to cultivate. Su Yan's heroic appearance made Tai Baokai suspicious. Brat, could it be that you took out this true dragon blood? At this point, Tai Bao added, this beast god almost forgot that true dragon blood is used to trade for primordial divinity medicines. You are a tyrant. You have true dragon blood, yet you still want to steal my treasures. Hurry up, give me some more. Su Yan felt helpless and told him what had happened. E.C. Yin has joined the Crepe Myrtle sect. Tai Baokai shook the fur on his body and said in shock, qualified to give birth to the extreme moon saint physique. This E.C. Yin actually has the potential to become a supreme physique. This Crepe Myrtle sect is a superpower in the Z-Way segmentum. I didn't expect E.C. Yin to have such a good fortune. You know about the Crepe Myrtle sect? Su Yin asked. She won't be in danger, right? Impossible. The Crepe Myrtle sect is already terrifying enough. Moreover, the Crepe Myrtle sect only has female disciples. Tai Baokai said in shock. As for the extreme moon saint physique, it is a physique that the Crepe Myrtle sect yearns for even in their dreams. You can cultivate the Crepe Myrtle sect's core scriptures. E.C. Yin will definitely be valued. Just you wait. E.C. Yin will definitely become the Crepe Myrtle sect's saintess in the future. She will be a powerful figure in the future. Brat, when that day comes, the gap between you and Saintess Crepe Myrtle will be too big. You better be mentally prepared. Tai Baotsai's sarcastic remarks made Su Yin shake his head. As long as she was safe, he would be relieved. At this moment, Tai Baokai took out the Great Tao Pearl. The colorful Great Tao Pearl that was spewing out 5-colored godly rays. As soon as it was taken out, it roared on its own. It was trying to break free. After all, the Great Tao Pearl was Shueguan's most precious treasure. It had Shueguan's Yuanshan imprint inside it. It was not easy to control the Great Tao Pearl. Let me convert him. Su Yin sat cross-legged in the bronze cauldron with a solemn expression. His forehead suddenly shone with bright Buddha rays. The Buddha beads on his wrist left his body, and the 9 beads shone on their own. They floated above Su Yan's Yuanshan and started to rotate. At this moment, Su Yan's Yuanshan shone brightly with Buddha rays. His Yuanshan was about to become one with the Buddha beads. Layers of Buddha aura burst out from the Buddha beads. Each of the 9 Buddha beads had a Buddha manifestation. The moment they were activated by Su Yan, the power of the 9 Buddha beads pierced through Su Yan's Yuanshan. Rumble. Su Yan's primordial spirit had recovered. It was resplendent and blazing as it charged forward, striking towards Shueguan's primordial spirit imprint. Without the bronze cauldron, it was impossible to suppress the Great Tao Pearl. Now that the Great Tao Pearl was suppressed, no matter how strong Shueguan's Yuanshan was, it couldn't be that strong. What a powerful treasure! Tai Baokai was envious. Every attack of Su Yan's was filled with Buddhist light. It was as if a Buddhist sect's glaring Vajra was attacking. He continuously struck at Shueguan's primordial spirit imprint, and every attack caused Shueguan's primordial spirit imprint to become slightly dimmer. Dozens of times in a row, under the illumination of the vast Buddhist light, Shueguan's primordial spirit imprint let out a miserable cry and disappeared completely from the Great Tao bead. Roar! A loud roar came from afar, causing the heaven and earth to tremble. The cultivators in Brilliant City were scared. They saw Shueguan's disheveled hair and a faint crack on his forehead. His Yuanshan, sitting cross-legged inside, had weakened greatly. Su Yan has refined Shueguan's Yuanshan imprint. The Great Tao Pearl has changed owners. Anyone could sense Shueguan's anger. Last time, Su Yan imprisoned his divine will in the cauldron and refined it. This time, his precious treasure had been taken away, and his primordial spirit had been shattered. What kind of humiliation was this? It made Shueguan furious to the extreme. His entire body unleashed a terrifying aura that was about to tear the sky apart. Big Dipper Supreme, he is fully deserving of the title. The younger generation sighed. Shueguan's aura was too domineering. His life essence was as vigorous as the sea. Divine arts and secret techniques revealed several great divine arts. Their auras were revealed and suppressed the sea and looked down on the world. Su Yan, you're just a small fry. All you did was use some unorthodox methods. The head of Shui family shouted angrily, "My son Shui Guan, the Big Dipper Supreme, the main character of the world, the invincible Ingjia. Crushing you is as easy as crushing an ant. Is he someone you can provoke?" Now, the Shui family announces that we will offer a reward for a stalk of king medicine with Su Yan's head. We will not go back on our words. Brilliant City was surging. A stalk of king medicine was a shocking reward. Who wouldn't be tempted? Soon after, Brilliance Hall also made a move and offered a Dao weapon as a reward. Brilliance Princess was rude and unreasonable, but she was still the princess of Brilliance Hall. Now that she was kicked to death by Su Yan, Brilliance Hall was completely infuriated. However, Han Tong had tried many times and couldn't calculate Su Yan's whereabouts. He guessed that Su Yan had a supreme treasure on him to protect him. As the person involved, he was observing the Great Dao Pearl. The colorful Great Dao Pearl flowed with 5-colored divine radiance. It automatically transmitted the sound of the Great Dao and scattered a divine aura. It was as if it had formed a Great Dao immortal cave. It was a shocking manifestation. The Great Dao auras scattered by the Great Dao Pearl made Su Yan and Tai Baokai look solemn. At this moment, they could clearly feel the power of the Great Dao. Su Yan was shocked. No wonder all the experts in the world wanted the Great Dao Pearl. It turned out that this item was so miraculous that it could be infinitely close to the Great Dao. Buzz! Tai Baokai immediately woke up. In his body, gates of 10,000 demons opened one after another, rippling with the aura of a demon sage. Su Yan was surprised. Tai Baocai's holy gates were different. Every gate of 10,000 demons had a vague yet majestic figure standing there. Some of them were huge in size, some of them were majestic, and some of them had world-shaking auras. How can this be? Su Yan was shocked. Tai Baokai opened the 4 gates of 10,000 demons. Their auras were all different. It was like the Dao court opened by the 4 demon gods. This made Su Yan suspicious. Su Yan was slowly attracted by the aura of the Great Dao Pearl. His mind was clear, and he could feel the power that surpassed the rules. This was the Great Dao. Once one could comprehend the Great Dao, one would be a strong expert in the universe. In the Big Dipper Star region, one could be considered a big shot. However, this was very difficult. Even legendary geniuses found it difficult to comprehend the Great Dao. Even Shui Guan had been stuck in this realm for more than 10 years. Su Yan's body was flowing with golden radiance. Because of the primitive treasured liquid, his control of the rules had improved by leaps and bounds. Now that he was in contact with the power of the Great Dao, Su Yan's aura became more and more divine. The 6 Daesong gates in his body opened one after another. Time passed day by day. The search for Su Yan caused a huge commotion. However, more than 10 days had passed, and there was no trace of him. Even the big shots of the Shui family returned empty-handed. The commotion caused by this matter was astonishing, and the most eye-catching thing was that Supreme Shui Guan seemed to be trapped in Brilliant City. This was because every night there would be a powerful Overlord appearing nearby. He would be suffused with killing intent, causing the whole of Brilliant City to surge with wind and clouds, lightning and thunder. This matter caused a huge commotion. Someone didn't want to let Shui Guan leave Brilliant City and trapped him there. Perhaps he really could be trapped there for several years. This is suppressing Shui Guan's growth. Once he comprehends the Great Dao, who among the younger generation can stand against him? Yes, I even suspect that the experts of the Big Dipper lineage have been awakened in secret. After all, the Big Dipper lineage has produced people like Ingjia and Mizar Juzi. However, Shui Guan's improvement is too fast. He even obtained the inheritance of a powerful expert. If he comprehends the Great Dao, he will be invincible in the Big Dipper Star region. Brilliant City wasn't calm either. Someone had noticed some clues. The Shui family was in a passive position. Su Yan's matter had caused the Shui family to lose a lot of face. They had also suffered great losses. Now, Shuiguan was also trapped in Brilliant City. They were worried that once Shuiguan left, it would really cause a huge war. Half a month had passed. Tai Baokai had broken through. It had absorbed the blood of a true dragon and opened the door of myriad demons. Its grasp of the laws had reached a new level. Its entire body was suffused with astonishing fluctuations. Buzz. Su Yan's body was covered in a rain of great Tao light. He looked solemn and dignified. It was as if he was undergoing nirvana. His grasp of the laws was becoming more and more shocking. The seventh sacred sect was getting restless. The more laws one comprehended, the stronger the sacred sect. Their battle prowess would also be astonishing. Su Yan was like a banished immortal. He had transcended mortality. His aura was faintly becoming one with the great Tao Pearl. Buzz. Su Yan's body suddenly swayed. A terrifying force descended from the hazy mist, wanting to destroy everything about him. Kacha! Su Yan's body cracked. It was like a shattered porcelain that could shatter easily. PFFF. He coughed out a mouthful of blood. His eyes were filled with horror. He had almost died just now. I almost turned into Tao. Su Yan shuddered. He hurriedly took out the Heaven's Essence Stone to heal the injuries on his body. Fortunately, his body was strong enough to not be injured by the power of the Great Tao. I'm still very far from comprehending the Great Tao. If I attempt to comprehend the Great Tao, I will be blasted into ashes. How powerful is the Great Tao? Once you comprehend the Great Tao, you will be a powerful cultivator in the universe. Everything under the Great Tao is like an ant. The Great Tao is the master of laws. Regardless of whether it's Tao sects, mystical arts, secret sects, or Dharma forms, they're all constructed by laws. However, even the most powerful Dharma form cultivators can't withstand the attack of the Great Tao. No wonder Shuiguan didn't dare to leave Brilliant City easily. Once the power of the Great Tao hits him, he will either die or be injured. Su Yan thought to himself, now that he had a concrete understanding of the powerful cultivators in the universe, it was best not to provoke such existences if he could. Tai Baokai was scared. It didn't dare to observe the great Tao Pearl anymore. Even with Su Yan's body, it had almost shattered silently, let alone its body. At that time, it would definitely be destroyed in both body and soul. Su Yan's cultivation was too low. Although his realm was sufficient, in the process of comprehending the great Tao, he would die if he wasn't careful. Chapter 196. Su Yan spent a few days recuperating from his injuries. They cultivated here for a period of time before setting off, preparing to head to the southern region. Arcade City belonged to the central region, and the southern mountain range was very far from here. It was a gathering place for demon cultivators, and there were fewer human cultivators there. Their purpose in going to the southern mountain range was to find the Yuan. When they arrived at Arcade Planet, Tai Baokai and Yuan had both fallen into the southern mountain range. However, the Yuan situation was a bit special. Su Yan was worried and wanted to take a look. Moreover, there was still some time before the Star Tomb opened. They went to a bustling, ancient city nearby. Su Yan didn't expect that he would become a celebrity now. Shuiguan had taken out a king medicine and placed a bounty on him. The bronze cauldron can't leave my side. Otherwise, they'll calculate my location. Su Yan thought to himself. Tai Baotsai's body was smeared with the blood of a demon god. It looked like a fat tabby cat as it wandered around the streets, asking for information. This bustling ancient city had a large void formation that allowed them to cross to the southern mountain range. Brat, they're all here to capture you. You're now a moving treasure trove with king medicine and Tao Pearl. Some old bastards will try to capture you. Tai Baokai transmitted. When they arrived at the void formation, they discovered that there were a few experts hibernating nearby, secretly monitoring the passing cultivators. Even the Tai Baokai was wanted. After all, it was the one who had stolen the Tao Pearl. Su Yan and Tai Baokai left the place. The Tai Baokai was very fierce. It shook its body, and its fur immediately fell off. It looked like a big white bear with a very strange appearance. It attracted a lot of attention as it walked on the streets. Suyin hid in the Phoenix Hairpin's space. Tai Baokai swaggered over with an imposing manner. It talked with the manager of the Void Formation and haggled. It even took out the identity token given to it by the Golden Dragon King. Those who could take out the Golden Dragon King's identity token had to have a powerful background. The experts watching in secret also stopped paying attention to Tai Baokai. Tai Baokai had taken out 30,000 Origin Essence Stones and was waiting here. Controlling an ancient city is still the fastest way to earn money. Suyin muttered in his heart as he waited for the void array to open. Unexpectedly, they waited for several days. Most of them were Yao cultivators. Very few human cultivators crossed back to the southern mountain range. There were also the primordial spirits of great characters constantly sweeping this place. These Yao cultivators all sneered. The Shui family had lost a lot of face, and so did Alcade Palace Hall. They were currently searching the entire world for a little cultivator called Su Yin. I don't know how this Su Yin escaped. It said that many great characters were secretly investigating his whereabouts. Even the Grand Elder of Big Dipper Palace Hall made a divination, but he couldn't divine anything at all. Su Yin, it's true that he's a little cultivator, but he's still a strange person. Back in the Battle of Marsh City, Su Yin controlled a small dragon vein and suppressed two great prodigies. It's a pity that I wasn't in Marsh City at that time. Otherwise, I could have seen Su Yan's glory. Regardless of whether it was the Shui family or Alcade Palace Hall, they were not on the same side as the Yao race. They were all enjoying the show and began to discuss. Have you heard? Some time ago, a human cultivator came to the southern mountain range. He's almost at the peak. I've heard of him a long time ago. After all, it's the most famous divine mountain in the southern mountain range. Even Supreme, Shuiguan, and Fairy Big Dipper have been there. Moreover, the #1 prodigy of the Yao race in our Big Dipper Star region is now at the Divine Mountain of Inheritance. Yeah, I wonder if he can open the Savage Palace. It's rumored that there's an inheritance in the Savage Palace. Someone has opened it before. Su Yin perked up his ears to listen. The Divine Mountain of Inheritance in the Big Dipper Star region was called the Savage Mountain. This mountain was very famous. It was a special land of inheritance in the Big Dipper Star region. It was said that it had existed for a very long time. Prodigies would often go there to try their luck, hoping to obtain some inheritance from the Savage Mountain. Yuan was now in this land of inheritance. The human cultivator they were discussing just now should be Yuan. Buzz. At night, a large void formation suddenly opened. It caused a huge commotion. This was the power of the void erupting. It was even more shocking than when a big shot made a move. After all, the price to cross to the southern mountain range was very high. I finally left. Su Yin heaved a sigh of relief. It was too dangerous to stay in the central mountain range. Leaving for a period of time would allow him to avoid the limelight. The void formation began to cross. After all, it had cost so much. The construction of this void formation was very exquisite. It was like a huge void hall. There was a lot of discussion inside. Most of them were demon cultivators chatting with each other. Kid, did you notice that there's something wrong with this person? Tai Baokai was as honest as a big white bear. He had a simple and honest look on his face as he patrolled a man with messy hair. Who's there? Su Yan's spiritual will spread out. He followed Tai Baocai's eyes and saw this man. Why does he look so familiar? Su Yin was stunned. The young man was tall, and his messy hair covered his face. Only a pair of deep, starry eyes could be seen. They were sharp and frightening. Looking at the man with dark yellow skin, Su Yin patrolled for a while. He was shocked. It's him. Su Yan's heart was in turmoil. This was the young slave he had met in Alcade City. At that time, his appearance had alarmed many big shots. As for the young slave, he seemed to have lost his mind and ran away without a trace. Su Yan's expression was strange. He did not expect to meet this mysterious expert in the void formation. You know him? Tai Baokai asked with a voice transmission. This person just came in out of nowhere. Even the experts outside who were searching for you did not notice. Fortunately, this beast god has a good eye. Su Yin looked around and suddenly walked out of the Phoenix hairpin. The cultivators here were all discussing and did not notice that there was an extra person. "Kid, what are you doing out here?" Tai Baotsai's face darkened. "If we are discovered, the southern mountain range will not be peaceful. We will have to hide again. It should be fine. There are no experts in the void formation. My 9 transformations should not be seen through so easily." Su Yan looked at the young slave and found that he looked a little different. He seemed to have aged 5 or 6 years and was almost a middle-aged man. "Big brother." Su Yan walked over and chuckled, trying to build a relationship. The tall man's deep eyes flashed with a confused look. His pitch-black pupils looked at Su Yan, and a mysterious glow flashed in his eyes. He saw through my 9 transformations at a glance. Su Yan's heart skipped a beat. He took a deep breath and said calmly, "Big brother, where are you going? Are you going to the southern mountain range too?" The tall young man looked confused. He seemed to be trapped in a fog and could not find his way. He was like a walking corpse. No matter how Su Yan asked, the tall young man did not respond. He just stood there. He was tall, and his clothes were messy. There was not much fluctuation, but there was a kind of essence, energy, and spirit that pierced the sky. Su Yan's head hurt. This person seemed to have lost his memory. It was no wonder that the big shots of Alcade Hall wanted to snatch his Dao fruit. His condition was not right. He had forgotten many things and could not even communicate normally. "Big brother, why don't you come with us to explore the cultivation world? What do you think?" Tai Baokai walked over shamelessly. He wanted a rope in this expert. He might be able to become their protective talisman. The tall young man suddenly shifted his gaze to Tai Baokai. Tai Baokai was shocked. Under the gaze of the tall young man, Tai Baokai was about to be seen through. "Big brother, what are you doing? Stop it." Su Yan's expression changed. He found that the tall young man had stretched out a finger and pointed at Tai Baokai. The confusion in his eyes dissipated. His deep pupils released a light of amazement. Immediately, Su Yan found that the aura in the tall young man's body was awakening. What made Su Yan pale was that the aura in Tai Baotsai's body was also faintly being drawn out. "Kid, save me. He seems to want to harm me." The Tai Baokai was anxious. It used all of its strength to kick its legs as it sensed danger. This tall youth was too terrifying. He had sealed it without a sound. However, it was unable to struggle free. Everything had been sealed. All of its methods were useless in front of him. "Oh!" At this moment, the tall young man spoke. His eyes flashed with a resplendent light. His finger pointed at Tai Baotsai's forehead. Su Yan wanted to stop him, but it was useless. The power of this young slave was too terrifying. He had forcefully suppressed Su Yan, and he had no power to resist. Tai Baotsai's sea of consciousness was about to collapse. The tall young man's pupils burned. It was a terrifying manifestation. His eyes pierced through Tai Baotsai's sea of consciousness. It was as if he had barged into a vast reincarnation vortex. It was mysterious and shocking. Su Yan followed the tall young man's piercing power and entered Tai Baotsai's sea of consciousness. He saw one inconceivable scene after another. Layers of terrifying wills roared out. It was terrifying to the extreme. In Tai Baotsai's sea of consciousness, there stood one majestic figure after another. They were like invincible existences. The aura that erupted from them caused the entire 9 heavens and 10 earths to tremble. Su Yan's spiritual will was about to explode. This aura was too shocking. It was difficult to endure. Su Yan seemed to have barged into a vast reincarnation wheel. He crossed through the past one life after another. The entire process was indescribable. Su Yan seemed to have experienced one great era after another. Su Yan found it difficult to see the specific scenes. He could only see blurry scenes of mountains of corpses and seas of blood. He wanted to see more clearly, but every scene quickly dissipated. The tall young man had a solemn expression. He chased after them again and again. It was as if he did not know fatigue. After an unknown period of time, he finally saw a flourishing great era. However, it was torn apart by a sea of blood and cut apart by immortal light. The world was dyed in blood. All of this was too resplendent. Suyin found it difficult to see clearly. He did not know if these were real or fake. They were like projections left behind from ancient history. However, they emitted the aura of a sea of blood. It was as if they wanted to split the sky. The tall young man hugged his head. His face was distorted. He seemed to have seen something that caused him to be sad. Immortal firmament. The tall young man let out a beast-like roar. His eyes were vertical and filled with killing intent. It was like a heavenly blade that tore through the void. It was snow-white and overflowing. The void array trembled. It could not withstand the killing intent he emitted. Kacha, Chapter 197. What a shocking energy fluctuation. This is the aura of the void. Could it be that the void formation is disintegrating? I don't know who's so unlucky. It's not a good thing to encounter an accident while crossing the void. Looking at the fluctuation, it seems that something happened to the void formation. This was a vast mountain forest. Ancient trees covered the sky, and the vegetation was thriving. The mountains and rivers were magnificent and filled with a wild atmosphere. In the mountain forest, in the ravines, and on the peaks, all kinds of strange beasts could be seen. There were also many strange beasts with powerful auras. Human cultivators were relatively rare. There were too many cultivators gathered here. It was difficult to count them all. It was a sacred land in the southern region, and most of the younger generation came here. But now, the void was torn to pieces, and a vast void aura was transmitted out, startling many creatures. They all looked into the distance and saw a void formation collapsing. Then, groups of cultivators fell from the sky and crashed into the ground, creating large pits. For a moment, smoke and dust filled the sky. Lucky, too lucky. The surrounding cultivators smacked their lips. Once the void formation collapsed, it would create a large void crack. Weaker cultivators would find it difficult to resist. But the void formation had been completely destroyed. They did not encounter any life-threatening danger. At most, they fell until their heads bled. Damn it, I spent so many origin essence stones, and an accident happened to the void formation. I'll settle the score with them later. That's right. Damn Alcade Palace. They took 5,000 origin essence stones from me and almost killed us. How hateful. These cultivators who were dizzy from the fall cursed. They were also very glad that the void formation had been completely destroyed. Otherwise, they would have all died here. Damn it, it hurts. Tai Baokai crawled out of the pit and shook its round head. Its body was covered in cold sweat. The experience, just now, was unforgettable. It was as if it had crawled out from the gates of hell. Baokai, did you see anything just now? Suyin found it difficult to calm down. He stared at Tai Baokai and asked. He was even clear that if the young slave had not broken the void formation with his roar, they would have been in a life-and-death situation. Many creatures would have died. Kid, don't you know that person? This beast deity was almost killed. I'm not done with you. Tai Baokai growled with a dark face, flustered and exasperated. How could I know such an expert? Suyin asked again and again. He really wanted to know more about the Tai Baocai's origins. He felt that its origins were astonishing and that it was definitely not an ordinary creature. Tai Baokai shook its big head and said with conviction that the young slave coveted its aptitude and wanted to seize its primordial spirit. This made Su Yin feel helpless. It seemed that he couldn't get anything out of Tai Baokai. He didn't know if Tai Baokai knew his specific origin. My strength. Su Yin was alarmed. Only then did he realize that his strength had been suppressed to the primordial realm. He realized that his life's spring and primordial spirit had been sealed. He was shocked. How could this be? One must know. The primordial realm was connected to various cultivation mystic realms. The primordial realm could be infinitely strengthened. In other words, Su Yin could only use the strength of his physical body here. Tai Baokai also realized the problem and said, I didn't expect to come directly to the Savage Mountain. It saves us the trouble of traveling. Yuan is cultivating in the Savage Mountain. Let's go and take a look. This is the Savage Mountain. Su Yin was stunned. He looked around and realized that there were many creatures gathered here. Not far from them, there was a huge mountain that pierced the sky. It was filled with a savage aura. This was the famous Savage Mountain in the Big Dipper constellation. It was known as the Land of Inheritance. Su-Yin also wanted to see how powerful this Savage Mountain was. Any cultivator who came here would be suppressed by the Savage Mountain. In this place, they could only use the strength of their physical body. Their life spring and primordial spirit were sealed. It was obvious that the inheritance was only targeted at the physical body. Therefore, it was a pure land for the Fae. After all, Fae cultivators were born with strong physical bodies. Brother Baokai. It was also at this moment that a being in a golden robe with a powerful aura walked over. The little Dragon King was majestic. His body flowed with golden light and exuded a vigorous vitality. There were 2 horns on his forehead that emitted waves that could split the sky. The little Dragon King is out. The surrounding Fae cultivators were discussing. The little Dragon King was a Fae genius in the Big Dipper constellation. There were only a few young Fae geniuses who could be compared to him. Moreover, the little Dragon King's ancestral land was on the Alcade planet. Therefore, the little Dragon King could be said to be the overlord of the younger generation on the Alcade planet. He was very prestigious. Behind the little Dragon King was a group of beautiful goblins. Some of the goblins were even wearing sexy clothes from the treasure store. Little Dragon King. Tai Baokai looked like a big white bear. Although its fur had fallen off, the little Dragon King still recognized it. Haha, it's really you. The little Dragon King strode forward with a smile. More than a month ago, the incident in Marsh City had shaken the entire Alcade planet. Furthermore, Shuelong had also been brutally beaten up. Tai Baokai had taken out all kinds of treasures, and even the great Dao Pearl. Tai Baokai, so it's you. Behind the little Dragon King stood a woman in a dark green dress. Her skin was smooth, and she had a furry tail that rippled with light as it swayed. She was looking at the Tai Baokai with a strange gaze. Little fox, how can you speak like that? Tai Baokai was very unhappy. How can you call me by my name when you see me? Bai Yun's face darkened, but she didn't say anything. She couldn't believe what happened in Marsh City a month ago. They had caused such a big storm, but they still dared to appear in the southern region. Although this place was a little far from the Alcade Hall and belonged to the Fey race's territory, once the Shui family and the Alcade Hall found out that they were in the southern region, the Medicine King's influence alone was enough to attract the experts of the older generation. Let's leave this place quickly. It's not safe. Su-Yin transmitted his voice. He didn't expect to meet the little Dragon King on the way. There were too many people here, and it wouldn't be good for them if news of this spread out. Beast God? Who is so arrogant that even a starry sky king beast doesn't dare to call itself a beast god? At this moment, 2 creatures with tyrannical auras walked over. Their eyes were cold as they stared at the Tai Baokai with unfriendly gazes. When they sensed its aura, they sneered. Little sister Bai Yun, who is this big cat? Do you need me to teach a lesson? Bai Yun looked like she was watching a show and didn't say anything. She was the woman beside the little Dragon King, a genius of the fox race. You 2 idiots, which eye of yours saw that this beast god was a cat? Tai Baokai stared at them with murderous intent. It had always claimed that it was extremely talented and extraordinary, but now it was called a big cat? This made Tai Baokai so angry that its face turned green. You still dare to call yourself a beast god? The expression of the 2 creatures was somewhat cold. One of them was a strange creature with gray skin. Its body was emitting a terrifying aura like a mountain. It stared straight at Tai Baokai and sneered. I think you must have eaten some immortal's guts. You think you are worthy of being called a beast god? I think you don't even have the qualifications to be my battle servant. You too. Aren't you going overboard? The little Dragon King frowned. The other person spoke. He was also in human form, but a huge shadow faintly appeared behind his back. It looked like a purple, ferocious bird. His eyes were filled with a sky-tearing aura. He said coldly, Little Dragon King, it's not that we're going overboard. It calls itself a beast god. How can you tolerate it? The little Dragon King smiled bitterly. After all, even his father, the Golden Dragon King, had entertained Tai Baokai before. The little Dragon King really didn't dare to say anything about Tai Baokai. These two were the geniuses of the southern region. They sized up Tai Baokai with disdain. How noble was a beast god? Only a mythical beast was qualified to be called a beast god, but it could only be said that it had the potential to become a beast god. But Tai Baokai was a mythical beast? They had never seen such a mythical beast. You two have eyes but can't see. You don't even have the qualifications to carry my shoes. Tai Baokai cast a sidelong glance at them and said arrogantly, I'm in a bad mood. I don't even have the mood to accept two battle pets. What did you say? The two geniuses of the southern region were furious. Accept them as battle pets? I'm not in the mood. There was a commotion around. Many people came over to watch. They recognized the two geniuses and were all stunned. This big white bear was too arrogant. It was openly humiliating the two geniuses of the southern region. The little dragon king's face turned green. Tai Baocai's cultivation level was not high, but it had offended the two geniuses. Are you deaf? Tai Baokai raised its big round head and said disdainfully, My words are precious. I never repeat what I have said. How dare you? The two geniuses were enraged. Their physical bodies were very strong, and they were emitting waves of astonishing strength. They squeezed the air and shouted, Little Dragon King, don't blame us for not giving you face. You see, this big cat is too arrogant. Let me teach it a lesson and let it see the reality. The gray humanoid creature strode over. Its entire body was filled with a majestic aura like a mountain. Its physical body was extremely shocking. Vigorous waves of essence and blood were gushing out from its body. Seeing Tai Baokai stepping back, the crowd roared with laughter. Ha, are you scared? The gray creature said coldly, It's too late. You can't take back what you just said. Who said I'm going to take back what I said? Tai Baokai bared its teeth and said, Kid, go and suppress it. Little Dragon King's eyes were filled with astonishment. He noticed the silent young man beside Tai Baokai. His heart was beating like a drum. This person couldn't be Su Yin, right? Ha, funny. If you're looking for a helper, you should find a strong one. You found a weak young man. Are you mocking me? The gray creature laughed and looked at Su Yin. It said with an unquestionable tone, Young man of the human race, the chance to abandon the dark and seek the light has come. If you follow me, I will make you my battle servant. You can eat whatever you want, but you can't say whatever you want. Su Yin frowned. He looked at the gray creature and said, We are not here to cause trouble. Goodbye. Stop right there. Did I say you can leave? The gray creature's eyes were filled with coldness as it shouted, I will not take back my words. I said that I will take you as my battle servant, so I will. If you insist on leaving, I don't mind suppressing you. At that time, it will be hard to say whether you will live or die. Young man of the human race, you have a great future ahead of you. You must seize it. The creature with the image of a vicious bird behind its back also coldly said, Young man, go and take in 2 battle servants. We are still missing 2 mounts. Tai Baokai didn't mind blowing things up. Impudent. The energy inside the gray creature's body burst out. Its body was like a giant mountain. This was a creature from the stone tribe. Its innate fighting strength was astonishing, especially its body that was comparable to a divine weapon. This aura was like a stormy sea. It contained a murderous aura and rushed toward Su Yan. I don't have a habit of taking in battle servants. Su Yan's hair fluttered as his eyes flashed with a cold glint. He suddenly turned around. His originally calm body surged with vigorous blood essence. It could be said that a huge golden furnace was burning in this place. Boom!